This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by plastic girls or boys with chemistry sets.
Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And guys, this is the end. A few months ago, I announced the world was ending, and I am happy to announce the apocalypse is now over. This is our final episode talking about end of the world movies. And what better way to do it than bring back some of my favorite guests? But we're doing something a little bit special, a little bit different this time. Obviously, we want to end the series with a bit of a bang. No pun intended, but I did plan the joke, so I guess it was kind of intended. But also mark the occasion of a pretty big event that happened this year. There's no doubt there was nothing bigger than the release of Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same weekend. It was crowned Barbenheimer. And I was like, well, how can I monetize this? Let's just do a whole show about Barbenheimer. So today, to talk about the end of the world and some of the best rom-coms. Yes, Barbie's not really a rom-com unless it's about a girl who's in love with herself. But, and I mean in a positive way, like she self-loves, not, you know what, I'm ruining this. Guys, David and Liz are back. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having us again.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. We're on the very fancy set, but I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable using it this time. Last time I was like just kind of moving in and out, bobbing, and be like, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" Yeah, last Apocalypse series, which is very, very cool. So it's good to have you back. And we were just talking before. You haven't been on since before episode 50, which is insane to me. That was a long time ago.
We were working out earlier, actually, how long it was since we were last on, but how many episodes we've been on. So
Yeah, you've been on. Well, I think you've done more now, David. I think
Yeah, I think
because you
that's-
did the soundtrack episode with your brother as well.
that's right. Yeah.
So you're actually on more recently because you're on, I think it was like episode 55 or 56. But Liz was 47. So
Yeah.
we're just doing this is the admin section of the show where I just go through the Rolodex of episodes. I'm like, if you want to catch Liz, head back to
Yes.
episode 47.
Please do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually do. Like Liz and David's episodes are always good. And Liz has one of the highest rated episodes or most listened to episodes of all time. And it's her solo show as well. So.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Do you remember how nervous you were? You're like, James, I want to do it, but I'm really nervous.
Yeah, I was sweating. I
Yeah.
was literally sweating like.
Oh, I sweat when I breathe, so don't stress. Like, look at me. Like I look like I sweat when I breathe. I'm glazing like a ham as it is.
Yeah.
Well, how are you both?
Yeah, good.
How is your
Doing well.
life in movies at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've actually watched quite a few recently, haven't we? Although we have probably been watching more series.
Definitely. Yeah, we're getting Netflix series and stuff. Yeah, getting onto the Ahsoka. Like loving that at the moment.
We finally got to watch Ted Lasso.
Oh, so good. I haven't seen the third season, but the first two are.
Wow, what a show! I'm like, I hear about this all the time on like Instagram and Facebook, and I'm like, Ted Lasso, what's that all about? But wow, that is just brilliant. We haven't quite finished, but I like David went out he does a games night with a friend, and so he went out to do games night, and it was like a drug I needed. I was like, I really want to watch this, but I can't because my partner's not home, and I know he'll want to watch it, and I know I'm just gonna it's one of those shows that you can just watch over and over again, can't you?
Yeah. We just look at each other and go, do you want to watch another one?
Yeah. Like before you know it, an hour and a half later, and like it's like 12 o'clock at night.
The other episode or the other series I've been watching, which my brother put me onto, is Hijack, which is an Idris Elba series.
Oh, cool.
And I'm about halfway through that. So
Okay, nice.
loving that at the moment as well.
Yeah, and I really don't like flying, and I'm addicted to watching this show. So yeah.
Well, it's because you don't have to do flying. You can sit in your couch at home.
David goes to me, I don't know if you should watch this. You don't like flying. I'm like, I know, but next thing I'm just drawn into it. I don't know if it's
Yeah. No, it's a cliffhanger type series.
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
And then recently we went to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yep.
which
Yes.
was phenomenal. Yeah, we just adore that.
I was gonna say low key, but not even low key in my top 5 of the year. Maybe on the top end of my top 5.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly so.
yeah.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it as well. We had a great time with it. I thought it was really well written and the music was awesome.
Yeah.
Will picked up on some of the songs because he's been playing some old retro PlayStation 2 games.
Like Tony
and-
Hawk and stuff? Or?
Well, this one was Midnight Club 3.
Ah,
and he actually
cool.
picked up one of the songs from the train. He goes, oh, Dad, he poked me in the shoulder. Dad, I know this song. This one's on Midnight Club. So we were rocking out to that.
I was I felt really old after I saw it because I loved it and I loved the soundtrack. I read this interview where Seth Rogen was like, I just want to make a soundtrack that's like the Tony Hawk soundtrack, like because it's just so iconic. It's like a great mix of hip hop and punk, and this is definitely more hip hop driven. So the next day I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go buy the CD. I can't wait. Looked online. They did not make a CD. They did not do a vinyl pressing. It was like, do you want to go to the Turtles playlist? And I was like, no, I'm an old man. I want to buy it and keep it forever.
Yeah.
They didn't release it physically. And I was like, surely they would have done like a limited like vinyl with a turtle shell print or whatever. Nickelodeon, call me. Great idea. Especially because it's on wax and turtle wax. Anyway.
Oh, love it. Love it.
But no, they didn't do a physical. So I was really disappointed. So, and I don't use Spotify. I put my show on Spotify and please subscribe. But I don't, pay for Spotify. My wife does. So I had to like just look it up on YouTube. I was like, anti up. Okay. And then I can't lock my phone because then it'll stop the music. So
Yep.
I was feeling very old. But
But even like our kids didn't really, I mean, they kind of knew the story behind the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they really hadn't seen the movies. Like actually, I think I vaguely remember us trying to get them to watch it, but they were like, oh, I don't know what this is about. But they really enjoyed it. And yeah, it's fabulous.
it's it'll be tough for them to go back now because I do think it's the best of the Turtles franchise.
Oh, it is, yeah, for sure.
Like, I like those 90s ones. I really do. Like, honestly, I haven't seen the third one, but like the Ooze one was my childhood, so I love that one of the original one. But this just is something different. Like,
Yeah.
And even like the Michael Bay ones, I actually didn't love the first one, but the second one's actually quite fun because they made it more kid friendly and they brought Bebop and Rocksteady. And the 2007 one where they're like, we're going to make stone people as the villain. Like weird villains, but I still liked that one as well. But this is just head and shoulders above the rest.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just,
Yeah, it's up there with like Spider-Verse, like just love all the graphics and everything, and a lot of it's hand done.
it's clearly inspired by that flick, which I have no problem with at all. Like I love Pixar and all that and DreamWorks and stuff. But the animation's very same. So I'm like, copy Spider-Verse. Like, please, like we need new life and blood in animation. Like Pixar is gorgeous and I'll never criticize it, but like show me something different and raw and interesting. And like the scribbles, like it's like they're colored in with crayons. It's like, what a great idea. Like it's a kid's movie. It should look like. And then there's even a flashback where it's really hand drawn. It looks like kids drawings. Yeah. Spoilers. It's not really a spoiler. Yeah, it's brilliant. And like I said to David last week when we caught up, I was like, look, I think I like it better than Across the Spider-Verse, and like that's a tall order, but I just think it's got more heart and more family, and that's what I was really missing for Spider-Verse for me. I love Across the Spider-Verse, by the way. I think it's brilliant, but I just want a bit more of that gooey center which Turtles delivered. So
The other film that I watched the other day, which you got me on to, was Knock at the Cabin.
Interesting. With my daughter's favorite character, Ron, because he's in it. Oh my god,
He's in it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought about it. I think we chatted briefly. You didn't give away too much.
I said to you that I'm a big Shyamalan fan. I think that he is cruelly underrated. I think he's the go-to pylon guy. Like he had a couple of hits early on with Sixth Sense and with Signs, and then The Village happened. People were like, oh, what a twist, and like people just started like kind of. It was just very easy to bag on him, but I think the guy's always had a really interesting flavor, and if that's his thing, like. Who's doing it better than him? Who's swinging harder for the fences than him? So it doesn't always land.
Yeah.
But I like Shyamalan, and I really liked Knock at the Cabin. I know that like plenty of people didn't, and if you're like James, it was his work. I'm like, all right, well that's fine. But I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't love it. Probably for me, I don't know why I didn't connect with it. I think there was maybe some issues with the way that it was edited, or I'm not 100% sure. I can't quite put my finger on why it wasn't the movie for me. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think that probably the last Shyamalan movie that I actually really did like was probably Split.
Split's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably the one that I thought actually that was a good movie.
Yeah. And look, I didn't love Glass. Like we went to Glass, and Glass is long. Like it's really long. And it's trying to like force Unbreakable and Split to cross over. Spoilers for a 6-year-old movie. And it's cool, but it's very slow and it's long. And like the ending I found to be quite underwhelming. Like not a terrible film. And I've only watched it once. It does deserve its second day in the sun, of course. But for me, like I was sitting next to Tina and I was getting the Harrisonitis sigh. Because I was asking you about this, Liz, when you first came up. I'm like, when you get frustrated with a movie or bored, just go... because Tina does. Like, she thinks she's hiding.
I know which character Nina's like.
And she's just like, oh my God,
You're
like
talking
wrap
about?
it up. Like, and it'll happen in certain movies, not all of them, but like if it's going on for a while and it's not grabbing her, she's just like,
Yep.
it's also the Josie and the Pussycats side. I got that one as well. And I was like, oh man, you didn't like Josie and the Pussycats? Okay. I totally thought you would. But yeah, I'm trying to think the last one. I liked Old. I thought Old, like, I know a lot of people didn't like Old either, but I really enjoyed Old. But yeah, Split is just something else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
and you know, would it be the same film without McAvoy? Like, probably not. But there isn't a version without McAvoy, so don't even worry about it. Like, it's great. Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we've been watching.
Nice. You didn't having a grand old time at the movies. I haven't finished yet, but I started watching Monuments Men last night. I'm about an hour and 40 minutes into it. So I'm almost done, but it is great. And
I'm not familiar with it.
oh, it's a World War II film. It was made in like 2014, but yeah, George Clooney directed it, and like basically a bunch of art historians want to go, and it's based on a true story.
Yep.
Went into like Nazi occupied areas and were trying to save all the art from being destroyed because Hitler and the Nazis are burning all the modern art and they're stealing and keeping all the classics. So they kind of go in and they have to try and like rescue all the art and find so the history is preserved. It's got Bill Murray, it's got Matt Damon, it's got John Goodman. Yeah, it's really wonderful.
I think I've actually seen clippets of that. It must have played, because you said 2014.
Yeah.
I reckon I've seen that, like, you know, daytime. I know it sounds bad, but daytime TV sometimes has really good movies on. And I reckon I've seen that and gone, oh, because I knew about that story, actually. It's based on a true story or something, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so also you almost finished that one.
Oh yeah, I got
That's
about 10 minutes to go. Like last night I was watching it. Tina was at a wedding last night, so I was like, I'll finish Godfather Part 2 finally. I started on Monday and just like it's 3.5 hours long.
It is.
And it's great, but like it's long. And I was just sitting there, I'm like, all right, tonight's the night I finish it and I'll watch Monuments Men. But I'd had like 3 hours sleep the night before, so I got an hour into Monuments Men. I'm like, I'm gonna put it on in bed, and if I get sleepy, I'll get sleepy. And I was just like, there's so little to go, but I just can't do it. So tonight when I get home after this, I'll just knock out the last 10 minutes and then I'll put on Godfather 3. No, I'll probably put it on. I will watch Godfather 3. I like Godfather 3, but I might mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Love it.
Alrighty, so we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing 2 topics tonight, which we've never done before on the show, which is fun. And the reason being is Liz was like, I'm out. I don't like.
Sorry.
I don't like end of world movies. No, this has been the most divisive topic of the show. Like 63 episodes in, or I guess the topic started around episode 55 something. This is the first one where some people are like, you know what, not for me, which is cool. Like that's the whole point of the show is that you talk about what you love, and if you don't love it, get out.
But we had to get Liz on.
Had to get Liz on for
thanks,
sure.
guys.
And again, like the opportunity to cross over, like to do a Barbenheimer of our own. I was
love
like,
it.
oh, well, we have to do that. So we're going to do some rom-coms. And originally I was like, well, I guess I'll just talk to you guys individually. And I was like, no, let's mash it up. That'll be fun. Have you guys seen Oppenheimer or Barbie or both?
No, we missed out on. Well, I didn't. I mean, I would have watched Oppenheimer, but I think I was more keen to watch Barbie. And we missed out like by a couple of days.
I think Barbie's still in theaters, isn't
Well,
it?
interestingly, Isabella, our daughter, has just gone today with a friend to go watch Barbie, and I didn't know that they'd allowed some movies to go with it. So I think Franks and Hoyts. Shout out to Franks and Hoyts for putting on Barbie again. So she's gone to watch it, and I haven't actually heard from her. So I'm assuming she's alive, well, and really enjoyed it.
She's ready to crush the patriarchy. That's
Yeah.
it. She's come out and she's ready to throw down.
Yeah.
And I watched one of the movies that is on my list tonight.
Do you want me to close it, Will? Debut from The Young Man. Do you want the doors closed? Are we being too loud?
Okay. Okay.
He's like, oh my God, my parents are so lame. No, you're staying in. First ever appearance.
You're in.
Special guest,
You're
Will.
a guest. You're a guest star now.
That's our son, Will.
Special guest, Big W.
Hi, studio.
No, I watched one of the films that was on my list tonight. I watched it and then wanted to immediately go and see Oppenheimer.
It's so good.
And I went and checked the times, and it's only on a gold class.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll have to I think I'll just wait until it comes out. I'm sure it's probably only a month away from being released on digital. So
Yeah, well, I was going to go with a couple of friends of the show. So first it was going to be Josh, but he waited I waited too long. I couldn't confirm a date, so he went and saw it by himself, which was fine. And my buddy Nick was like, oh, I'm going to see it on this date, but I'll see it again because he's a huge Nolan fan. And I was like, oh, I'll have seen it by then. And then I hadn't seen it by then, but I was just like, it's too hard to schedule things. So this
Yeah.
one night I said to Tina, I'm like, hey, do you care if I go see Oppenheimer tonight after Zoe goes to sleep? And she's like, oh yeah, no, go do it, no worries. So I got a Friday night by myself. I just went down to Coringle and
Yeah.
plugged in for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, like it's a high energy, fast paced, shot like an action film period drama. Like that's what
Oh, wow.
that's what it is. Like it
Yeah.
never stops. It's relentless, but like it is the least in terms of subject matter, it's the least Nolan film ever because normally it's like there's guns and there's cars and like there's fast cuts and there's so much going on and the Joker's there in all of Nolan's films. But no, like this one is like it's a period drama. There's a lot of talking, there's court cases and there's stuff like that, and it's quite slow. And there's one big action scene. Spoilers, you can probably all guess what it is.
Yeah.
But actually, it's still shot like an action film.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But interestingly for me, my favorite part was the last hour of it. So
Yep.
where all the human drama really kind of kicks in. So I won't spoil it for you guys,
Yeah.
but Oppenheimer's great. And Barbie is wonderful as well. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get a chance to watch it. Oh, well. We'll see
Might
how
be
we
too
go.
long.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So we always do. I mean, I'll say we always do a preamble. That was quite a long preamble, but I'll start with you, David. Apocalypse films, like, where do they sit in your radar? Is it something you seek out? Is it just something that if you happen by, you'll watch it? Like, do they have much of a influence on your movie viewing? How does
Yep. I'm probably actually going through the list of all the available kind of, when you do a Google search, apocalypse movies, end of the world movies. And so I was going through the list and thinking, actually, I've seen a lot of these. So they do get what I do watch them. And they're probably the ones that I haven't landed with. I think I said to you the other day, the Roland Emmerich ones, the
Yeah.
2012, the Day After Tomorrow, all those. Like I've seen them, but I haven't. They're not on my list. So
Yeah, sure.
There's and the other ones that I have actually seen as well. Like the Dawn of the Dead and like I have seen all of those sort of zombie apocalypse movies. So I was really quite surprised at how many I had seen.
Yeah.
So it is probably something that I do watch. It is. It's one on the list. Yeah.
And we definitely kept it broad this time. I was like, look, I know the appeal is low, so we'll keep it nice and broad. I was like, if aliens invade, like if superheroes have to fly around and save the world, that was near apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Like, so we can do that as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely did that. And Liz, you're not going to talk about the end of the world tonight,
Yes.
which is fair. That's fine. You're going to talk about rom-coms.
Yes.
I think originally I was like chick flicks. I was like, is that even a genre anymore? Is it woke to say chick flick anymore? Like, I don't know. So I was like, rom-coms is probably safer.
Yeah.
You've talked about some romance before on the show for sure. So I kind of already know, but how influential is the rom-com for you? Is it an immediate go-to? Is it something you could kind of hit you when you were younger, or is it something you've always liked? Where does
Yeah, I think growing up definitely. I'm a bit of a hopeless romantic, so I love rom-com. I love to be able to sit there. I think we've talked about this, how I love to have my tissues ready for a bit of a cry and everything like that. But I think actually as I've gotten older, I feel like my influences have changed a little bit, and it's mostly actually thanks to you, James, and to David for just helping me open up a little bit more and be a little bit more flexible and just try out a couple of other different genres. But yeah, growing up, sort of looking through my list, a lot of the sort of romantic comedies from like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s are definitely on my list there. And yeah, I've always enjoyed something a little bit funny, a little bit more heartfelt, and yeah, I just kind of enjoy watching the little dance of romance and everything like that. It's pretty lame sometimes, but I'm also like, I just love it. Sometimes I've got to be in the mood for it. Other times I want an action-packed, adventure of some sort kind of movie.
It's funny. You're like, I've really opened up and gone to more genres. I'm like, I really started watching rom-coms this year, actually.
Yeah,
Like this year was the first time I
yeah.
watched Pretty Woman. I'm like, why
Yes.
did I wait? Like,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Also, part of me was like, at 25, I would have laughed at this. But now that, I'm no longer really a snob, I'm still a little bit of a snob.
Yeah.
But not as much. I can
Yeah.
handle it. Like, you know what? I get it. I wasn't
Yeah.
a Julia Roberts fan, and now I get it.
Yep,
And
yep.
the only person who missed out was me. Because I'll tell you what, she did not care that I wasn't watching her film. She's like, oh, what? $12 I didn't get? Okay, no worries. Let me just lie my bed of cash.
Yeah. No, exactly. So yeah, love myself a little rom-com. I still go back to it when I'm feeling like it, but other times, I'm like, oh, like I'll listen back to your podcast and I'll go, oh, maybe I should try watching that movie. Or David's like, he'll be so surprised. Like, you haven't seen that movie yet? And I'm like, I know, I should watch it. He goes, oh yeah, I reckon you'd like it. So yeah.
I do like when people listen back to the show and like, oh, watch this, check this out. It's funny, Gabby, who's been on the show quite a few times. I don't know why I pointed out your door as if she's in the lounge room. She's not. Also, we're in the lounge room, so getting really confused. But she was like, "Can you send me the list of the top 50 films we recommended it on episode 50? Because I haven't seen them all." I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And I got a message like, "I just watched Logan. I've never seen it before. It's great." And then 2 hours later, I just watched Whiplash. I never seen it before. It's really great. I was like, "Yeah, good."
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yep.
Alrighty, well, I think we should tuck into some lists. So we'll start with David. Apocalypse film number 5. Where are you taking us first?
We are going to A Quiet Place Part 2.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. Now that means one of two things: either A Quiet Place Part 1 is higher up, or it's not on the list at all.
A Quiet Place Part 1 is not on the list.
Wow.
I know, and I went back and forth on this. I'm like, oh, which one would I more likely watch again? And I've now seen A Quiet Place Part 2 3 times. I just watched it the other day.
Interesting.
And so I know it might be I think some people probably think that the first one is maybe a stronger movie. Definitely.
Yeah, you're talking to him. Like,
yeah. I reckon the ending is definitely a bit more of an emotional ending in the first one. Well, for sure.
I mean, look, that's actually probably my least favorite part of the first movie. I'm like, he didn't have to. Like, spoilers, guys. We're going to spoil a lot of things on this show, as always. He didn't have to die.
No, but it is. And look, no doubt, I think the first, I would say, here's how I'd rate them, right? So the first one is like an A-.
Yeah, sure.
And part 2, just for me, is an A.
Okay.
So that, just because I think, well, for a couple of reasons, I love the Regan. I'm trying to think of her last name. I'm sorry, her name's escaped me. But the deaf actor in the movie,
I can't remember her name either.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
Her character name is Regan, and she steals them. She steals the whole movie. It's her movie. She's the hero in this movie.
Millicent Simmons.
Millicent Simmons. That's it. Yep.
Tell you what, I'm impressed. I would not have. I didn't know that. Like, you do love A Quiet Place too.
I really do. Yeah, she is. She's fantastic in this movie, and yeah. So she's definitely the hero of the movie. I just like how John Krasinski structures the film. You get the only criticism I would say, you get a lot of feet shots. He loves
Tarantino.
He loves putting the camera right down low and just showing there's lots of feet.
A Quentin place.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that in the first one as well, because we always talk about the nail, like that's the go-to. She just steps straight on it.
And in the second one, they kind of go back to that because she has to go back down into the basement, and you see the nail again, and you sort of go, oh, having seen the first one, as she's coming down the steps, I've seen the movie before, but I'm like, don't step on the nail, don't step on the nail. Oh, she didn't step on the nail. All right, so it's a real the other thing is that sound is a character in this film as well, or the absence of sound.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, yes, you get to see more of the creatures in this one, which is probably for me, like I like the first one that you didn't see a lot of the monsters. Mm-hmm. But I just think the characters grow in this one.
Yeah.
I love Cillian Murphy's character in this. His name's Emmett. I love the introduction of his character.
He's like living in the tanker or the pipes or something. I
Yeah.
can't remember. He's like, I've only seen it once.
Yep.
I've seen the first one like 5 times. Like I love the
Yeah.
The second one, and it's not because I don't want to go back to the second one. I'll probably watch it again this October, but I haven't watched it in a while. I watched it once. I was really bitter about it because I couldn't see it in cinemas, so I bought it on Blu-ray and it cost me $50 for the steelbook. Because I was like, well, I'm gonna get the steelbook.
Yep.
I was like $50. So that and then like 2 weeks later, it had come out and it hadn't sold, so they marked it down by like $15. I was like, oh, you son of a. But I look, that opening scene at the baseball game, like I love, like the whole like revelation of the invasion is so cool.
Yep. And just enough mystery though, just enough mystery still left to go to a part 3, which I reckon they will make. I'm pretty certain that they will make a part 3, but there's just enough of a mystery. There's still that kind of, where did they come from? Like, so, and there's obviously still enough of a threat in the environment. So, you know, I think this is a really fantastic movie. I prefer it more than the first one. Maybe that's just me, but clearly an apocalypse movie because the whole movie's about an invasion. Whereas the first one started, I think, on like day 89.
Well,
80-ish.
The first one they start with the third child and then they jump ahead like in 20 minutes later they're down to 2. Like that's a harrowing opening. Oh my god!
Oh wow!
Have you seen it, Liz?
No. And David said to me, "Oh, you got again. This is one of those movies I've heard so much hype about it. Yeah, I've got to watch that one.
You'll dig it. Like it's not like Tina hasn't watched it either because she doesn't really like horror, but it's got some jumps in it, but it's not scary. Like yes, like I guess as I get older and mature, I kind of my appreciation for horror matures as well. So like things I didn't think was scary when I was younger, now I'm like, okay, like it's not scary to watch, but if you kind of mull over it, it's scary. So it does have that mature feel to it, but it's just a really well made flick and really enjoyable.
Because David said you didn't say it was like it's not gory, like you don't see the monsters, which I think's even
a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good though because that sort of adds a bit of intrigue to it as well. Like it makes it then interesting. Like I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, so A Quiet Place Part 2, if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It is amazing.
You're definitely making me want to go back and revisit it. I'm like, you know what, I've got to give it a second chance because if you're saying it's, you like it better than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing is as well, it's a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
It tells a story. It ends at the right point.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a bit of character growth in this one. And I really love the way there's parts of the movie where there's sort of three main characters all in their part of the world. And each of the characters are sort of shown in their own little combat scenario.
Yep.
And I love the way that the editors have cut those 3 scenes together. And no, it's a terrific movie. I think it's a fantastic horror thriller.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Quiet Place Part 2, check it out.
Definitely. All right, Liz, let's break up the tension.
All right.
Maybe some romantic tension.
There's some romantic tension. Yes. All right.
She's bringing the voices, guys.
So my I'm sort of going to go back so my fave 5 ones. I'm going to go from 5 to 1. So number 5 is the quintessential 10 Things I Hate About You, starring Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. So
also Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So
also, yep.
So the Joker and that Robin, who's not Robin, are in the movie together.
Yep, I love it.
It's a sticking point.
I love it.
I like that movie, but what a cop out. Like, let's be honest. Cool.
I mean, Heath Ledger's amazing.
For sure.
Yes, So, and I think because I chose this one as my number 5 out of my top 5 because it's just one of those movies that stuck with me. I remember seeing it back in 1999 and I was 17 at the time. So it just goes to show my age. But, like there was a movement back in the late 90s and early 2000s where there was this really big like teenage rom-com movement. And you don't really see that so much anymore. I mean, I'm not really aware of anything like that at the moment. But there was like, American Pie and there was like She's All That.
Try watching American Pie today. Like,
oh my gosh, it's
they pretty much glorify a sex crime.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like that they're all perfect on this girl. And like I watched it a couple of years ago. I was like, oof.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think that would fly today. Yeah.
It's tough, yeah.
Whereas I think this one, like watching this one, like there is sexual innuendo. There is very much a 90s feel about it. I mean, it was, obviously made in the 90s, but a lot of the music is the 90s. I know. I mean, like he's sexy enough as it is, But like I just I think it's actually aged not too badly considering it's over 20 years old now. Still holds up well as a good rom-com. I didn't actually know it was actually an adaptation from a Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Taming of the Shrew?
And it was just probably one of the more popular movies. I know a lot of my girlfriends went to watch it, not just because of Heath Ledger, but like it was actually a really good movie. I think it's one of the better rom-com movies of the 90s.
One of the best musical numbers, you would say?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, the amazing the part in the movie where Heath Ledger's singing on the bleachers, and that's one of my favourite. And he's actually a really good singer, like actually quite good. I can't help but look at him and just think of the Joker, though. I just keep thinking about all those other roles that he's done. And it was really quite very much the breakout role for both Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger at that point in time. It sort of really kind of helped them show them who they were. And I mean, Heath Ledger went on to do so many more amazing things as well, and Julia Stiles is pretty good too. I just really liked Julia Stiles' character in particular. She was sort of a 90s feminist, very argumentative, was sort of like, I'm always right and you're always wrong. I loved all the little comedic parts of the movie as well, like her sister being the really popular one and her not being the popular one. So I think the formula of the typical teenage rom-com was there. It was like, you had your group of really popular kids, girls and guys. You had your nerds. You had, the misfits or the outfits and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, without going into too much detail about the plot of the story, it's like about two sisters, one who's popular and one who's not. Julia's character is she's not interested in dating anyone. She thinks all men are all boys are the same and only want one thing. And so I don't want to go too much into the storyline there. But, it was just I really liked particularly the heartwarming parts of where Julia Stiles' character sort of starts to realise that Heath is quite a decent person and there's a nice little romantic relationship happening there. And I really like towards the end where, I always get the tears, but like when Julia stands up in front of the classroom and Heath's in there and they've been writing poems. And so she'll get up in front of the classroom and she talks about her poem and the lines where it's like, I hate it when you're not around and the fact you didn't call, but mostly I hate the way I don't hate you, not even close, not even a little, not even at all. And that's like really quite... Like every time, you might go on the internet, you might search up stuff about like different kinds of movies. That's always a line that comes up, such as like the Heath Ledger, like doing the, what's the song? I love you, baby. Right. Yeah. So, and then he gets like tackled by these. Yeah. Can't take my eyes off you. That's right. And he gets tackled by the police officers and stuff. And yeah, it was just, so that's like my number 5 because I think it's one of the better teenage rom-coms of the time. It's got a really nice. I mean, even though Heath Ledger deceptively, deceives Julia and stuff, but I actually like that it all sort of worked out, and yeah, it's a cute movie. Yeah,
that's the that was the trope of the 90s. It was introduced the unlikable like girl love interest because she's all that and she's like the art freak, and never being kissed, which again, an adult going undercover, like in a school and falling in love. That, a bit strange.
Yeah. But that was like the formula, wasn't it?
But no, there was criminal stuff in the 90s as well.
There's a formula that they use, and I think they did that really well in this movie. Like, I think it was definitely relatable. And, you've got your heartthrobs in Heath Ledger and even Joseph Gordon-Levitt, even though like he's sort of a bit of the kind of the geeky kind of guy in a lot of other films as well. But no, I thought this was really good. So yeah, that's my number 5 there.
Good stuff. All right, our hearts are throbbing. Let's head back over to. I'm so sorry. Let's go back to the end of the world, David.
Apocalypse.
Yes, the fire is rising. That was a bit about it as well. The fire rises.
The fire rises.
Yeah.
We have number 4.
Number 4.
It's going to be popular.
Yes.
Liz is going to love this one.
For sure.
It's Wall-E.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the first. This is actually the second time Wall-E's come up. Yeah. But when it came up the first one, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, Wall-E, yeah.
Yeah. Because the movie starts out on an Earth that has been completely polluted with garbage. The humans have trashed the Earth, and we have one little last remaining robot, Wall-E, who's cleaning up the mess. And his job is to basically, get all the garbage across and just stack it. And, that's it. What do? I just grab the garbage and I just put it into these little bricks and I stack it.
Make it into a city of stacked up rubbish.
Yeah. And then amongst one of his stacks, he finds a plant. And, he accidentally stumbles across another robot called Eve. Eve?
I think it's Eve.
I think it's Eve, but he says Eva.
You would be the expert, I think.
Eva.
Eva. Eva.
Eve, and off they go into space on the Axiom spacecraft, and
My dream future, just sitting in a hover chair, eating cupcakes out of a couple day, watching movies. It's not the end of the world, guys.
Drinking a liquid diet.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So not only the humans have trashed the Earth, but they're also trashing their bodies. They are have become these obese kind of blobs, and they're relying on automated systems to live their life now. And so it talks about things like not only pollution but overconsumption and just the environmental collapse that can happen as a result of not looking after our planet. Then we end the movie with symbols of hope, and ultimately it's also, it could have been on your list too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love a Wall-E movie. Every time I've watched it, I just love Pixar. I mean, James, we've talked about this too. We love Pixar movies. And I just think also it sends a really good message to kids as well, like to understand that, we do unfortunately live in an over-consuming environment. And so looking after our planet and the message that entails is really, really important. And I think Pixar did that really, really well. Yeah.
Yeah. And and it also ties in well with, Wally finds there's actually not much dialogue in this movie. Actually.
It took me a long time to get to Wall-E, because when the trailer came out, I was like, boy, that looks depressing. The most depressing Pixar film I've ever seen. And then I went and bought my ticket for Toy Story 3 and watched all my childhood get burned in an incinerator. So I did finally see it. I've only seen it once, and I remember loving it, but my memory of it is fleeting, if I'm honest. And not because I'm like, oh, it's so not memorable. I've probably watched like 4,000 movies since I watched Wall-E. So.
Yeah.
But I did like it.
Certainly I don't know how long the movie has been out now, but
Over 10 years. I think it's about 15 years old now.
Yeah. So it's been on repeat in this house quite a lot.
Yeah.
So we've seen it a lot. It always brings us to tears. And I just think it's a beautiful movie, but it's also it's got an important message about listen, don't trash our place.
Yeah.
We've only got one world. Let's look after it. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
They're always good at whipping in some message, old Pixar.
Of course, yeah. So that is number 4, Wall-E.
Number 4.
Yeah.
All right, Liz, you're going to bring
Right.
the romance.
So, yes, my
By the way, these
romance.
jokes are going to be happening all episode.
That's okay.
These terrible transitions will not stop.
Oh, I love it. Keep it coming. So this one, I don't know if a lot of people might know about this one, but this one is Down with Love.
Ooh, I know about this one because
Yes.
of my wife.
Yes.
And
so,
the director of Down with Love made Ant-Man. In fact, all of the Ant-Man movies.
really?
Peyton Reed's Down with Love, and then
Yes.
3 Ant-Man movies.
Well, there you go. And I love the all Ant-Man movies, so maybe there's something there about the director that I really enjoy. I just thought this was such a bright, happy movie in so many ways. And I used to watch this on repeat, actually, back in the early 2000s, but back when I had a lot more time than I have now.
This does not surprise me at all, because when it's set,
Yes.
the art, the fashion,
Yes.
it's very much a Liz film.
Oh, it's definitely, and I mean, we've talked about Austin Powers
I was going to say double
extensively.
feature, just this and Austin Powers back to back for sure.
Yep. So I'm obviously, as you guys would know, I'm a big fan of the 1960s. And I think also your beautiful wife, Tina, is the same, and our mother is the same. So it's basically a story about Renee Zellweger, sorry. She stars in this along with Ewan McGregor. Renee's name is Barbara Novak, and she is a writer that's produced this book called Down with Love. And it's basically a guide to women who do not need men in order to be happy. And basically so that women can engage in sexual relationships with men without any feelings or any sense of commitment.
Pretty
And
progressive idea.
It
I mean,
was.
obviously, like I don't know if it's based on anything or whether it's just like, hey, this would be a kooky idea. Women having rights.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was. I don't know whether it's based on something that happened in the '60s or whether it's just like, hey, this would have been cool if it did happen. But
Yeah.
The idea of a film set in the '60s with that, I think is quite cool.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, it is quite telling of the times back in the 60s where women's rights were really being at the forefront. This whole feminist movement was really beginning, and it actually is based on a novel, 1996 novel by Helen something or other, I think. Anyway, and yeah, so I just love I loved the sets. I loved the costumes. The characters were brilliant in the movie. Renee is just phenomenal. I actually quite like her, admire her as an actress. I think she's actually quite talented. Ewan McGregor is one of my favourite all-time male actors as well. And he's Catcher Block, who is the suave and well-known male journalist of a very reputable journalist company. I think it's called Harper. I think it was something like Harper... I can't remember. Banner Publications, that's right. And so basically the plot of the story is Catcher tries to manipulate and Barbara's character by posing as a USA astronaut, and in the process of all that, he realises that Barbara humiliates him publicly, and so then all of a sudden Catcher can't get dates because everybody knows that he is a man's man, and so Catcher disguises himself as an American astronaut and tells Barbie that he knows all about her. Anyway, so a lot of sexual innuendo. It's witty, it's funny. I love David Hyde Pierce is in this movie as well. He's just hilarious. Sarah Paulson's fantastic as well. So I just loved, like, particularly there was one part in the movie where there was like all this montage of like, because it's set in New York City, you know, and there's all of these flashing lights and, you know, then there's all of them doing like these little dances in front of the flashing lights. And so the movie I know is based on a 1960s movie, Pillow Talk, with Doris Day in it. So it's very similar to that. Or it's like those
Well, that
Elvis
answers my question
movies.
from before. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah. So, and actually, I found out that one of the actors, Tony Randall, who was actually in Pillow Talk, is also in this
that's
movie. And he was actually in the movie just before he passed away, unfortunately. And he was in the movie. He was the head executive of Banner Publications, and there was a funny line in the movie where they're all in this massive boardrooms, all these men everywhere, and they're talking about this book and how it's destroying their lives because all their wives are reading it, and they're not wanting to have sex with them, basically. And he's at the front there and he goes, I want this book completely, you know. He didn't realise that he'd actually been responsible for publishing this Down With Love book. And he's like in front of them and he's like, I need this book completely. It's destroying my life, blah, blah. And all the other men are like, yeah, our wives are not, you know, wanting to be intimate with us. He goes, I don't care about my wife. I'm talking about my mistress. And so it was just, it was really, really witty. It's hilarious. Has a happy ending in the end, and it's just fun. What I liked about it was it had like, you know, it had a bit of banter, but then they all, what was I going to say? It's just really, really, it's really good how it all turns around in the end. And in the end, Ewan McGregor or Catcher Block is the one who gets scooped the most. So yeah, I just thought it was really brilliantly written, and yeah,
It's fun. Like I've only seen it once, but it's a fun old time. I actually remember when that flick came out on DVD because I was working the video. I was in my first job, and like on the Video Easy like TV reel, it was always like Down With Love, like, and I was like, what's that?
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
because I was 16 years old and I thought I knew better than anyone. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah, Bridget Jones. Okay,
Don't you love the character now? Catcher Block.
I know.
Yeah, it's quintessentially, you know, suave and like sophisticated.
Unless it said an Australian accent, Catcher.
Catcher, g'day, Catcher.
Yeah, it just
Catcher.
doesn't have the same
Sounds like a
ring.
Bluey character.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! All right, bring the doom and gloom, David. Let's go to number 3.
We are dooming and glooming. We are going Interstellar, my friend. Interstellar. We've got a Nolan movie. This is the one that I watched and I said, right, I'm going to see Oppenheimer. That's
Yes.
it. That's it. I'm going.
I'm watching it
And I
soon
haven't
because
gone.
we're going to be doing a little taste for the listeners. There is a Christopher Nolan centric episode coming. We're going to do all about a retrospectives. That's coming soon.
We actually went through a little bit of in watching this one, we went through a little bit of a Nolan filmography, didn't we? We're like, okay, where did he start? And I'm like, okay, now we went there, the Prestige, Memento. Oh, so I was telling Liz about Memento, and so we did a little bit of a Nolan retrospective. This one is, I hope you agree, this one is a stunning movie.
I think it's probably his best.
The
Like visually, the audio, like
Visually.
I remember when I was late to Interstellar. It came out in 2014. I don't think I saw it till 2016, 2017 probably. And I'd kind of lumped in with the crowd 'cause I was like, oh, he's so clinical and detached. There's no emotion in his films. And I was like, yeah, that's right. That's true. Like they are. And really, it's just Batman. Like the rest of them actually, that's quite a bit. Like, the guy who you don't want to be emotional, like, yeah, so he does know his characters. And I watched it, and that film, like the last 40 minutes of that film, I am in tears the entire time.
Yeah.
Once you see, and it's so, I talk a lot about the maths of movies, and like there's just like little equations set up at the start of the film, like when he's going through space and the hand comes through, but he doesn't know what it is, or like the book's falling off the shelf. He's like, "What's going on?" And like he sets everything up and just knocks them down one by one.
Yeah.
And like in such an emotional way, she's like, "Pff, what a weird like." There's that voice again. And you're like, "Oh, what a weird thing." Like I'm sure it's just a Nolan like crazy thing, and then like just it translates to absolute like horrible tears at the end of the film. 'Cause it's so well done.
Oh, it's so well done. It is unbelievable. And do you know, I didn't really appreciate when I watched it. I think this is probably the third time I've seen it. On the first viewing, I definitely didn't appreciate the environmental message behind it. Like visually, it's a stunning movie.
Yeah,
It is
sure.
a stunning
Yeah,
movie
definitely.
visually. But I didn't really fully like appreciate the whole theme. Then watching it back again just recently, there's a number of very important, like, I know we're talking apocalypse, but like we've got the dust storms that obviously ravage the farmlands and decimate crops, and crops are failing one by one. It started with wheat, and then it was okra, and now it's looking like it's going to be corn, and there's just dust everywhere inside their houses, all over their pillows, everywhere. And then they eventually get to another planet, and that's so harsh as well. So it's sort of just this harsh, it just highlights the desperation that for human survival in this movie. And then you get to see throughout the movie as well these little video clips, and they're really well done because they kind of come off as like they're real interviews, and they're not. They're just actors, but they kind of get presented to you as if these are real survivors.
Yeah.
And then so they get done really well. Sort of talks through the human story, and then Cooper's watching video messages from his family, and then just
Oh, Murph.
but it just like to me, it underscores that the human toll of the Earth's deterioration, their desperation to survive. It's
Yeah, I think also it sort of really makes you think, like, what would we actually do if we were in that situation? Like,
Oh, spoilers. Nothing.
yeah, I know. Like it
we're
would.
so
That's
stunted
exactly right. It
species.
would be totally apocalyptic for us in this day and age. And I think it's a
I
really
would close my blinds and be like, well, what's on the shelf? Like,
where's the arsenic? Like honestly, like yeah. But it's just it's interesting. Like I really, parts of me got me questioning. Like when we were watching this movie, like what would we do in that situation? Like how would we? Like I thought it was really interesting. I can't help but just bring it back to reality and go, what would we actually do? Like, but I think it's also sad because I'm like, well, that's the only other option is either you die on the planet or you find another planet to inhabit. And then would we do the same thing as what we've done to Earth? You know, like, but I actually quite enjoyed the whole time loop situation. I thought it was really fascinating. And I love all that kind of quantum physics type thing where he was dropping the books out of the bookshelf, and that was a different timeline, and it was really interesting to see how the director brought that all together because that was him dropping all the books out of the bookshelf, and then the Morse code, how that the ticking of the clock and the
watches,
watch
yeah.
and all of that sort of thing, and I thought that was a really smart way of. It's kind of like there's another movie that we've watched. I can't think of what the name is, but that we watched, and it was about. Was it? Oh, I don't know. Oh, all right. I better stop there because I can't remember what the name of the story is. But basically, yeah, I just thought it was really good. Yeah, I really like those sort of movies. Yeah.
You could see.
No, it's staying. That's the clip.
You can
this
see
week.
Liz's brain just going, "What's the name of the movie? What's the name of the
Her
movie?
brain,
What's that
you can-
movie?"
the
again?"
ticking. It's the ticking. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think of the movie? Is it
I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's great. I've actually only seen it once,
okay?
and it's so ingrained in my brain. Like, of course, I don't remember everything from it, but like
Yep.
both on a visual standpoint, but just like the emotional beats and like it's relentless in how awful it is to Matthew McConaughey. Because you're like, oh, well, the ice planet has something terrible. Surely things won't get worse than that. Oh, a planet with like 40-foot waves. And by the way,
Yeah.
your daughter's now 30 years old. Like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks. Oh, cool. Well, that's horrifying. And then like, and then it just does something. And then it becomes a whole different movie for me. And not in a bad way. It does a very like 2001
Yeah.
Space Odyssey thing. But, you know, controversially, I think it does it better.
Yeah.
Where he goes through a black hole and then, yeah, it's a time travel movie.
Yeah, but it's this interdimensional kind of. I don't know that you really have to watch. We watched it with subtitles on because I remember thinking to myself at the time, going, I didn't get all of the layers of science that they were trying. Like they started talking about the thing that these beings had left this wormhole for us, and then it ends up sort of, oh no, the beings are us.
Yeah.
I
Like
found that really interesting too, actually. That was an interesting concept, like, because time travel. And then I started thinking to myself, what if that's what actually happened? Anyway, don't get me started.
Nah, it's a brilliant movie. I love it. It's definitely an apocalypse movie. People might think, oh no, that's not an apocalypse movie.
sure.
It absolutely is.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
world is dying. Humanity is in crisis.
What I like about one of my favorite stories about that is because you know Nolan's he has to do everything properly. He doesn't like using special effects. Like he uses them when he absolutely has to. But like he flipped the truck. He made a real explosion for Oppenheimer. I like for this one, he's like, well, we have to grow real corn. So he just planted fields and fields and fields of real corn. Like so that like that wasn't there already. Like he went out and like in pre-production, like, well, we got to get these fields of corn ready. So
There's two characters in this movie. They are genuine characters. I love the ADR, the voice work that was on the two robot characters. One's called Case, the other one's called Tars. And I don't know the actors' names. We'll look them up. James is going to look them up.
because I don't remember them that well. But
Yeah.
I remember enjoying the performance.
Oh, the voice performances of these two characters are amazing. Though they actually, the humor that because they all have humor settings. So what's your humor setting? Tars, it's 90%. Yeah, let's drop that down to 60%. You know, like what's your honesty setting? Oh yeah, it's 80%. Yeah, let's bring it to 60. You know, like it's just the way that the banter that
and it made the technology seem like of everything, like not just the robots but the spaceships, really believable by and having that human connection, which is actually not too far from what we're trying to do with the robots here on Earth. You know,
Tars was voiced by Bill Irwin, who's done a bunch of stuff, but is probably most commonly known as Mr. Noodle from Sesame Street. And Case was voiced by Josh Stewart. I've seen a bunch of horror things, but he was also one of the terrorists in Dark Knight Rises. He was the one on the plane with Bane and stuff like that.
Wow, okay.
So he's done a couple of things. He was in Tenet. He was in the Punisher TV show. He's done a bunch of stuff, but like, look, I mean, it's hard to top Mr. Noodle, isn't it? Like, but he's done a bunch of stuff, so he's definitely been around. But there's nothing kind of like one thing I could point to that you would know him from. But yeah,
But just that you were mentioning the practical effects, like some of the robotics in that movie are actually practical, but some of them are obviously digital. But yeah, Nolan's. I said to Liz, there's Spielberg and there's Nolan, and I don't. Oh, Scorsese.
Killers of the Flower Moon's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Looks good.
But I like these filmmakers are just a class above. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, Interstellar number 3.
That's number 3. Like, what is?
There's 2 beauties to come.
Oh yeah. All right. Speaking of beauties, let's get to some romance.
yeah, some more romance. So this one is definitely my top 3. And you mentioned it before, actually, Mr. James, and it's Bridget Jones's Diary.
I'm Bridget Jones.
So yes, one of my absolute favourite movies. In particular, I actually quite enjoyed the first movie as opposed to the second and third. The third one with who's the guy that plays in? Is it Grey's Anatomy? I forgot what his name is.
Oh,
The very charming
Patrick Dempsey is he?
Patrick Dempsey. Yeah, I like him as an actor, but I just found it a little bit too unbelievable. Like she, got pregnant with, Darcy, and then So spoilers.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All I remember for the first one is Sally Phillips, who's genius.
Yes,
great.
yes, fantastic.
The blue string.
The blue string. I was going to mention that. Yeah,
And the best friend is played by Moaning Myrtle,
That's exactly right.
who's actually like a 40-year-old hitting on a teenager.
I
Again,
know.
we talked about some weird stuff in these movies, and we're not going to stop. The weird, guys, it's Hollywood.
Yes,
it gets weird.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you 100%. I saw Moaning Myrtle. I was like, I didn't notice her straight away, and then I watched it again a couple of years later, the Bridget Jones Diary, and I was like, that's Moaning Myrtle. Yeah, because she's got a very distinctive voice, so perfect.
Yeah, that woman is perving on teenagers in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's you can just laugh and dismiss it. That is the plot of that movie. Well, not the plot of the movie. It's not all about that. It wasn't Harry Potter and the Peeping Tom, but like, I mean, it might have made Cobble to Fire better. Sorry,
so
you're talking about your movie, and I'm just trying to get.
that's
I'm just
all right,
like,
I love it.
I'm Deadpool, laughing in it,
You've
guys.
got to do it. You've got to put it in there. Put it in there. So this one definitely my favourite. I mean, I don't know, must be on a Renee Zellweger bandwagon at the moment, but I loved her in this movie. I think a lot of women have really enjoyed this movie. First one, as I said, my favourite. Basically, a storyline, as you know, is a 30-year-old single woman who is not very lucky in the land of love. She travels home for Christmas. She has a very quirky mother and father, and she has a job in, I think, on a TV show, and she sort of helps produce a TV show. She's got a really attractive Hugh. His name's Hugh. What's that?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. That's right. Yeah. He's in there, and and he's that's like, I think a couple of the things I think about when I think of this movie is the big granny undies that she wears, like to suck in her body. And then, interestingly, her body is pretty normal, considering like she's got a bit of curves, and I'm like, she's not a big lady. She's
if
she's
there
got
is
curves.
one thing that's evident from that era, it's that being curvy is bad, and being 30 is old.
Yeah,
I remember at that time, the two like old celebrities were Bridget Jones and Anastasia. They're like, oh my goodness, this pop princess of 30 years old. And again, I was like, yeah, she is old because I'm 16 and 30 years old. I wish I was 30.
I know, and I looked like that as well at the age of 30.
I wish I looked like, if I looked like Bridget Jones at 30, I'd be doing better than I am now.
So I just love this movie. It made me give me lots of laughs, and and I love the Mark Darcy character as well. So that's played by Colin Firth, which I know we've mentioned him before in my other podcast with you. In regards to Pride and Prejudice. And I was actually thinking about it, and it's kind of got the same kind of plot as Pride and Prejudice, which I know was in my top 5 movies I've enjoyed of all time, because it's kind of like a modern day adaptation to that movie.
Sure.
Yeah, and interestingly, Colin Firth is in this movie as well as he was in the original Pride and Prejudice. But I just love like some of the really funny parts, like the blue soup, which is, obviously Bridget Jones cannot cook to save her life, and so she serves
Look
her
at
friends
this
up.
woman. She's
blue.
30. She can't cook. She weighs over 70 kilos.
I know,
What a nightmare.
and she smokes and she drinks, and so she's trying
who could
to.
ever love that?
I know, and I thought it had a really lovely message. She's obviously kept this diary over the time, and she writes in it, making these, New Year's Eve resolutions to quit smoking and lose weight and find the Mr. Perfect. And the story goes, obviously, Mr. Perfect was there the whole time, and so I just really liked that. I also liked when she rocks up to the Tarts and Vickers party, dressed as in a bunny with a little like Playboy bunny, and so Uncle we've always got a creepy uncle, don't we? He just likes to slap us on the butt. So I really like that, and I just like the awkwardness and the relatability to the character of Bridget. And I just love that she was always, even when she was down, in the dumps, and, she'd eat like a whole tub of ice cream while crying and singing All By Myself. she still got it. She brushed herself off. She got back up and she got back into the game. And I actually really loved, like, the part that gets me crying all the time is when Colin Firth, they're at a dinner party and everyone's all like coupled up and she's the only single one, and somebody says to her, so how's the dating scene? You've got to get a bun in the oven, you know, you're 30 now and all of that. And she's like, oh, isn't there like 1 in 7 marriages that end up in divorce? And like Colin Firth's character, Mark Darcy's like, oh yeah, no, actually it's 1 in 3, you know, and then she has to leave early from the dinner party, and so then he tells her, I love you just the way you are. And yeah, it was just a really kind of sweet moment. And then eventually they actually get together. They realize that they're perfect for each other. They get together. But then he finds the diary with all of her stuff in it, talking about how much she really hates him and she wishes that she'd never met him. And she's gone, oh no, you know, I've stuffed it up. And then I think he realised after all of the back and forth of like, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you not like me? Whatever. Then realises that he gives her a diary, an empty diary, and you know, it's
Again.
yeah. So ready for
I'll be
Bridget
proofreading this
Jones's
one.
diary, second time round. Yeah.
Bridget Jones will return.
Yeah, exactly. That had to be the prelude.
That was the
That's
post-credit
sequel.
scene.
Yeah.
Like the diary flips over. It's a flip book. And made famous the Gabrielle Union song "Out of Reach." That one was all over the radios.
Yes.
Hated it as a child.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm watching video hits and the slow songs on. Like, bring back my new metal. Like,
To be honest, some of the songs, I mean, I know some people are like, oh, I love this the soundtrack. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like,
yeah, it's no can't keep my eyes off you. Like,
no, yeah.
That's what
So-
Bridget Jones is missing. Heath Ledger
singing.
singing the fountain while they fight.
Liz has got I know what's on Liz's list. There's one of them that's got a rocking soundtrack. We'll come. Please keep listening because Liz has got one on the list. It's got a
Real bangers.
brilliant
bangers?
soundtrack. Yeah. So
Love
listen
it.
up.
Yeah, so that's my number 3, Bridget Jones's Diary, number 1.
Number 1. Yeah. I haven't seen the sequels, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same kind of, well, yeah, the sequels are kind of the same. I did watch the third one and I was like, oh, it's just a bit complicated for me. So, but then most of her story life is complicated.
Love is complicated, guys.
love
Sometimes
is
you
complicated.
need a couple of sequels to get it right. Not in this case, apparently. Good to know. All right. Let's jump into some, speaking of big bangers, let's get into some more world-ending.
This one's big, mate. Really big.
I'm ready.
Number 2. You ready?
I can't handle
I think it's been mentioned. Number 2.
it's a big number 2. Let's.
It's a big number 2. Who do you work for?
Nick Owen will love that so much. Every time Nick Owen's on, he's like, who does number 2 work for when he gets to number 2? So
This one, I'm sure it's come up. I haven't listened to all the Apocalypse episodes, mate, but I'm sure this one's come up. We're at Mad Max Fury Road.
for sure.
This is the post-apocalyptic movie.
Honestly, I kind of feel like I just did this whole thing to talk about Mad Max Fury
Yeah.
Road. I was like,
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Like
It was like number 5 on my list.
Was
but
it? This George Miller invented the post-apocalyptic movie with with the Mad
For
Max
sure.
series. This one is the best of them all. We've got it just right from the outset.
Yes.
Right from the outset, the chase is on, and the whole movie is just a chase movie. It's just and it never lets up.
Yes.
It's just incredible. The way this film is edited, it is a masterclass of editing. And not only that, but you like, I know earlier as you said, Nolan doesn't uses digital visual effects when he needs to, and a lot of it's practical.
Same.
There's just so much practical effect. I don't know how they filmed this movie. It was just an extraordinary the cinematography is unbelievable.
I was going to say, I'll go one better. I don't know how they made a movie which is just desert make look as good as it does. That should look awful.
Yeah.
Like it should look like 1980s Dune, which is actually a really good movie, but like it should look horrible and it's stunning.
Oh, yeah, and I think it's actually like it's a masterclass in how to make an action movie as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
And like I've talked about this a few times since it's come up, was like the perfect evidence. Is like, hey, story's not that important. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, because I remember when I first watched it, I was like, I don't get it. Like, everyone loves this film. They could have just called it There and Back Again, like, A Hobbit's Tale. Like, guess what? They went one way, they changed their mind, they went back. And upon rewatching, I'm like, oh no, this is genius. Also, like, how many movies have a guy whose his sole responsibility is to play guitar while they drive?
Yeah.
Most people just chuck on an iPod. He's like, no, live music from start to finish.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah. And like Tom Hardy, even when I first watched this movie first, I thought, I don't love Tom Hardy as Max. Like, and he doesn't have a lot to do in this movie. He doesn't have a huge amount of dialogue in this movie. I think Charlize Theron steals the movie. Like, I think it's actually her movie, and I'm really pleased to see that the sequel to this one is focused on her character.
It's prequel. We got Anya Taylor-Joy which is like a yes.
Yeah.
I honestly, the more I think about it, I'm like, it didn't matter who they cast. Like, it clearly was not meant to be Mad Max, but like, if we say it's Mad Max, it'll put bums in seats. So let's call it Mad Max, and then not because like, it's not Max. Like, there's none of that. There's none of that swagger. There's none of that attitude. He barely talks, and when he does, he's like, like just growling through like a fork for half the movie.
I know. And there's at one stage, at the start of the chase, he's basically strung up at the front of a car.
Half the film.
Yeah, as a blood bag.
Yeah.
And he's got this, he's got this grill across his You can't understand what he's saying. He spends most, the next half an hour trying to take the grill off his face.
I was there with him. I'm like, come on, let's hear it. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah. Nah, there's not much dialogue here.
And he's great. Like, it's a very like visual performance because he is like, reduced to no words. It is good. Like, he's great, like, it is a great performance, but he's probably the least important part of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, my name will carry this film to riches, and we're going to win all the Academy Awards, but like, that's it. I am here as a vessel to get people to watch this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's just, it's dehumanizing. A lot of the movie is dehumanizing. Like, the women are dehumanized, all the people that are in the Citadel. We've got this, dystopian fortress where the resources are kind of controlled and hoarded by this Immortan Joe, and
played by the original toe cutter. Like,
yeah. And I'm like, like, society's collapsed. Everything's out of whack. We've got these war boys that have got this, religious fanaticism.
Yeah.
They're willing to die for Immortan Joe. Yeah, with the chrome and
la la la.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like, it's so it's the best post.
It is the post of post-apocalypse.
It's the post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is what happened to everyone who stayed on the planet after Interstellar. They're like, all right. Like, now let's really get crazy.
We'll make it work.
We found the water. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, mate. This is just an incredible movie. I can't wait to see what they do with Furiosa. Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
Have you watched the Black and Chrome edition?
I reckon I have.
So I don't think I have, because I was just like, because I've got it, and I was like, but it's so visually, like, I feel like one of the appeals of it is they made something that should look so boring, look so wonderful.
Yeah.
I wanted to make watching in black and white would take from it, but I will check it out eventually.
Yeah. I prefer the color version.
Yeah.
And particularly the dust storm scene.
Yeah.
It just, to me, I think it's a brilliant movie. I would watch this time and time and time again. So,
And it's an easy watch.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is so little story. It's not like, you don't have to be like, all right. It's not like Interstellar where you're like, right, sit down,
Lock yourself in.
shut everything down, kids are asleep. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Mad Max. I mean, if you're a parent, your life is Mad Max. It's fine. Like, you're just going there and back again. Like, one kid's like strumming a guitar, like,
And
and the kid's just constantly trying to get water and like juice and stuff. Like, it is Mad Max.
yeah. And Nicholas Hoult is great in this
So
movie as
good.
well. Yeah.
Like, honestly, one of the best. I was gonna say young actors. I guess he is young, but I don't think he's much younger than me. But like, because I'm so young, he's such a presence. Like, in every flick he's in, like, the guy just gives 110%.
Yeah.
I just watched Renfield, and he's so good in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wonderful in it.
He's terrific in this.
Yeah.
So please check out Mad Max Fury Road. I mean,
If you haven't, if you've been living
haven't,
under the rock in the
why?
desert from Mad Max Fury Road, pop that.
why have you not seen Mad Max Fury Road?
So
Please.
good. Have you
Yeah.
seen it, Liz?
I'm one of those people that's living under a rock. Not
I
only because
knew
it's
it.
post.
Is Liz short for
apocalyptic.
lizard? Because you're living under a rock?
I've been living under a rock. Only for the fact that I have heard a lot of good things about it, though. So maybe, if, as I said, flexibility, and maybe in the future look into watching some post-apocalyptic movies. That might be on my list.
Faux show.
Now, talking about something that sometimes feels a bit like post-apocalyptic.
Oh, the master of the segue is here. My voice cracked. Did you hear?
goes into this movie of no shame here at all for the fact that I do come from a Greek family.
Oh,
Is
I wondered.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding Part 1.
I will say this: my family loved this movie growing up. Like, it was a big video renter for us, to the point where Tina and I almost broke up.
Oh my
She was
gosh.
like, "Oh my god, if your parents reference My Big Fat Greek Wedding one more time at an event, like, yes, I've seen the movie.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
I'm Greek.
Yes.
I'm not near Vidalis." Like,
No, yes. No, that's 100%. And actually, interestingly, once that movie did come out, everyone who found out that I was Greek
Like, oh,
was like, or Windex.
Oh, make lamb.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So many people. In fact, when that movie came out, I was working at the coffee club in Knox Ozone. So shout out to the coffee club Knox Ozone if you're listening. Philip, who is an Indian man who was my boss, he just kept saying to me when he first came, like, because there was another person that owned the business before he came and take over, and he's like, he found out I was Greek, and he's like, "Do you want some Windex?" And he just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, it gets to a point where you're like, okay. Enough
that
with the
laugh
Windex
button on
joke.
the
Yeah. Shall we press it?
no. Yeah, good. You see the
It's
business
a big
says,
red
no.
button there. I want to press it. So this is my number 2. My
What
Big
was
Fat Greek Wedding.
John Corbett's character's name again?
Ian.
Ian. We're gonna
Ian,
kill
yeah.
you.
Hey Ian, we're gonna kill ya. Opa.
Joey Fatone.
Yeah. I just love how they brought those characters
Who
in.
I'm pretty
It
sure
was
is
great.
Italian.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, he's from NSYNC. Yes, he is actually.
Gina Carridis is in it too. Isn't
Yeah, she's Greek. Yeah, she's Greek. No, actually, the dad, Gus,
Who passed away.
he did pass away. Yeah.
That was one of the most heartbreaking things I found out. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I saw the trailer for number 3 because number 3 is
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah.
And I'm like, if Gus isn't in it, then why am I watching? And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, then why did they bother making it? Like,
I know.
And
So
you can call me Gus.
yeah, that's
But
right.
I'm Gus.
And as much as he was frustrating sometimes to listen to, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can see all of the different. Well, I'm going to call Babs. So in Greek, we call dads Baba, but I call my Baba Babs. So all the Babs are like that. All the Bubbles are like that. And I'm like, yeah. So it's just that quintessential. If you're Greek, you'll understand, okay? So your Greek listeners out there will understand just how much this movie really might resonate with
I'm
how
gonna see
it
a
was for
spike
you
in
growing
listens
up.
from Greece after this. Like, finally.
You
Finally.
better. We want the Greek. I mean, Melbourne has the second biggest Greek population outside of Greece. So there you go. Yeah, but as I said, coming from a Greek background and a Greek family, I can say now, for the record, if Mum and Dad listen to this, I'm not saying that
Look, I
our
can
life was
guarantee you
exactly like this.
1000% your dad does not listen to this podcast. 1000%. He's into tech. There's no way.
Well,
because he's
fav-
like, look, that James, he's a nice kid, but he talks too much.
No, well, he watches Western movies on like about volume 36 at home, which is very loud. Sometimes it's hard to knock on the door to let yourself in because Babs is usually sitting there either watching a Western movie or he's watching Elvis.
Or some old Tony Curtis movie that's
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
Yeah.
found an in with your dad recently. I'll go on a little tangent for a second because I was watching some Westerns, I think last year, and I was talking to your mum one day. I was like, oh, I've been watching the Man with No Name trilogy, like the Clint Eastwood ones.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, Tony and I love those movies. This
Yes.
is my impression of your mum.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good.
And
Spot
I was
on.
like, I'll tell you what, like, I know everyone's all about Clint Eastwood, but do you know who's great? That guy Lee Van Cleek. I never heard of him. And she goes, oh, Tony loves Lee Van Cleek. I was like, oh, it's taken 16 years, but I've got an in with the old man. Like, I said, drop LVC, and he'll be like, oh, yes, let me sit down, let me tell you about him. I haven't. Because what am I going to say? Hey, Tony, I know who that is. He'll be like, all right, cool. Well, thanks.
He's a man of very few words.
So do I,
Babsies.
James. And
Yeah.
I've watched more than you have. I'm like, fair enough.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. So growing up, when this movie came out, I was like, I have to watch it, obviously, because come from a Greek family. And I could definitely relate to many aspects of this film. But in saying that, I was saying before, Mum and Dad, if you're listening, I don't think that you guys were exactly like this, but I can definitely relate to some of the idiosyncrasies that poor Nia, or her name Tula in Tula, was it Portocalis?
Yeah,
Portocalis.
Portocalos.
Portocalos. Oh my God, there, James.
Does it mean?
Well done.
Does it mean,
That deserves a clap,
does it mean
buddy.
apple or orange?
It means orange.
Because the other one meant apple, and in the end,
Yes.
they're all fruit.
Yes,
So-
that was the line I was going
Yeah.
to say. Like
Oh,
that's
sorry.
actually one of
I
my,
stole
no,
it from
you
you.
stole. No, that's all right. You can steal my thunder. So I really love that line. I think it was really, really sweet when he said that at the wedding. What I loved about this movie was I could really relate to what poor Tula was going through. Not to say that Mum was like that, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of our David and I. Our little relationship, how it started.
Relationship was David getting baptized in a tub of oil.
Well, yeah.
I'll say that is the grossest thing in the movie.
I
like,
know.
He's got his long hair and he's like slicking like olive oil through it. It's probably baby oil, but like,
It is, yeah.
I was just
And
like, oh,
I know.
Even as a teenager, I was like, that's gross. Like, and I was a teenager, so everything gross I found enjoyable. But I was like,
do you know what? David's brother actually was. Well, I don't remember. I actually don't. Are you guys Baptists? I couldn't remember. I think they were named. David's family was named as they grew, and his family weren't overly religious or anything like that. But they went to Sunday school, for instance. But so David's brother, who's the same age as me.
I went to Sunday school as well, and I apologize.
Well, that's what Greek school was essentially for us because we went to Greek school. Everyone's like, have you done sport? No, I used to go to Greek school.
My wife
That's
was
what
a Greek
I did.
school dropout.
Yeah, well, the best thing kind of ever that happened. Anyway, but what I was going to say was David's brother got baptized Greek Orthodox because in order for them to get married in the Greek Orthodox Church, he needed to be baptized. But Alethea's grandfather was Russian Orthodox, sorry, apologies. But Alethea's grandfather wasn't he a priest or something like that? Like he did the baptism in the bathtub. Did you know that?
It was like, no, none of this is true.
That's what she told me. Anyway,
David's like,
we have gone on a massive tangent. Were we talking about movies, guys? I'm pretty sure we're talking about
David's
movies.
like, I think you watched another movie where someone who looked kind of like my brother got baptized in the Greek or Russian Orthodox Church.
You should see, guys, we should have some footage of our faces. Like when the boys see me talk, it's hilarious. Anyway, getting back to the movie, I just love the characters of the film. The movie's about, it's about love. It's about family. It's very relatable. It's funny. It's got like really heartfelt little moments in there. I love when Ian's family meet Tula's family for the first time.
Bunt. It's a cake. But there's a hole in this cake.
Bunt. There's a hole in this cake.
Yeah.
But I love it when she's like I said that I just was going to have, so, are you ready? When Tula's in the kitchen with her mum and her mum's peeling potatoes like frantically. And she's like, we're going to have this, we're going to have this nice quiet dinner. And she goes, I brought the whole family. And there's like 80 of them in their front garden with all of the things.
Yeah.
Diane, Nick, and my
Nikki.
name is Gus.
And I am Gus.
And then I also loved the actual wedding itself and the frivolities with that and the frou-frou of the dresses and I just
And the
loved all
house
that.
with like the columns
Yes,
like, next door.
yes. And I love how like the present that the parents got them, which was so sweet, was a house. And where is the house? Next door neighbour. It's the next door neighbour. So I just
like
thought
great columns
so that
holding
they're
up the
close
roof.
by. Yep.
It's very Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yep. I also love the I think you might have mentioned this before, James, the line where Tula's auntie, like it's Greek Easter, and he's like, Christos and Chistro and nasty and all of these sorts of things. I just love that. But then he's Tula's auntie, who's just gorgeous. I love that character, by the way. I forgot what her name is. Auntie Tula. Oh, no, I can't. Auntie Vula or something like that. It's probably something like that. Anyway, and he's like, and Tula says to the auntie, Ian's vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat. She goes, everyone
do you mean you
stops
don't
and
eat
there's like
no
a
meat?
smash of a glass. Oh, that's okay. I make lamb, So it was just really quite lovely. And they really embraced Ian in their family, which I felt the same way with my family. I remember when
Yeah, it was
David
Lula. You're right.
when David first met our family, James, I don't know if you were there on the scene at that point.
No, I
We
wouldn't
went-
because you guys were married before I.
Yes, that's right. Yes. We'd gone to my Uncle Michael's house and he used to have like these big get-togethers where we'd have like a massive
I
Greek
remember.
feast.
I've
Yes.
been to I think 3 in my life because I used to work weekends, so
Yeah,
I
it was
always
hard.
missed them.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then so whenever there was a family gathering afterwards at Michael's, I was like, oh, so the spit, right? And Tim's like, he doesn't want to do that anymore. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I know, we kind of miss it a little bit, don't we? So shout out to Uncle Michael. And I remember
Also
when
a regular listener, actually. So,
Oh, that's good.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, we'll have to get him on. And I remember that they had, I call it arnistisuvla. So that's like when it's got the rotating lamb on the suv. Anyway, and I went upstairs to help my auntie with something. And then I come back downstairs after helping her and everyone's milled around David. He's there because I wondered, like, how's David going? I can't leave him for too long. I don't know, Because
She said as she went up the stairs,
went-
like, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Next thing I get down there, they've completely milled around him.
Yeah.
They've broken off a rib.
The crackling. I got the crackle. I got
Oh,
the
the skin. That's,
which is
that's
amazing.
the best part. I thought it was a rib. Sorry, I thought they cracked a rib off the lamb and you were just there and you're just,
they probably
everyone's
did too.
talking.
Yeah.
Everyone's just milling around him like
And Zipro, I had a glass of Zipro.
glass of Zipro, yeah. So which is enough to get the fire going, I tell you what. And they embraced David like he was one of them. It was beautiful. Anyway, so I really resonate with this film because I feel quite deeply. I understand everything that the lady was going through, Tula, and I just thought it was a really heartfelt movie about family and love. And so that's my number 2, definitely. And I liked also the second movie, and I'm curious to see how the third movie will go.
I haven't seen the second one yet. I remember when we saw the trailer, Tina was like, why are they all pronouncing words wrong? She's like, they're Greek.
Yeah.
I was like, is it like an American dialect? She goes, no, they're just pronouncing them wrong.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a different accent or something, or it's like, it's cringy. So I feel you, Tina.
I remember the year that we got engaged. Like every now and then she'd be like, oh, like we need to talk more about the wedding. I was like, Tina, I've seen my big factory wedding. Like I'm prepared. We can do it. And she'd be like the amount of times that joke came out, I'm sure the next time she'd be like, you know what? No wedding. It's fine. It's fine. We won't get married. Don't worry about it.
I think also like a lot of my friends loved the movie too. Like they loved watching it.
It made us basic whiteys be like, ooh, culture.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know why. Like my girlfriends were really excited about seeing the second movie when it
they
came
were
out.
the ones who were like, hi, Mr. Portocalos.
Yeah.
What about kimono? Like that was all your friends.
Kimono.
Kimono.
It means, I love
when
that.
you're called?
Yeah. Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And you know what, James? You do a very good Greek accent. And I'm very impressed by both of you,
a
actually.
Gus accent, and that's about it.
I actually think you guys have done very well, like being that you've both married Greek ladies. You've done very well with, understanding the culture and how you pronounce things,
The key is just knowing the desserts.
That's the most important thing. And David is definitely one of those who can do that very well.
There's the segue. And you guys all remember David, don't
Now
you?
we're talking desserts. We'll pass it over to David.
Yeah, the final course of our list tonight. Let's get to the dessert, if you will. What is the cherry on top of this cake?
Well, let's genuinely bring the two themes together because Liz, I love you 3,000.
What?
Avengers Endgame,
So
number 1.
So good. And you didn't do the filthy cheat that I did where I put both of them as number 1, Infinity War and Endgame.
Well, I was tempted, but in the end, I've just gone. Look, I could have made a space for Infinity War, and like to be honest, it's probably 1.5. It's 1.5, but Endgame is the one which I thought would fit this theme best, because it deals with the apocalypse.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalyptic film. And we've got the snap, we've got the aftermath of the snap. So we've got the empty
Sounded
streets.
good. I was like, I was like, I heard that.
We've got the empty streets, the abandoned cities, the monuments. We've got the support groups that Steve set up to deal with or have a check in with the survivors, and that's such a great scene.
That's great.
Yep.
And what's really great about the film, especially for the first third of it, is how quiet it is.
Yeah.
Like you talked about the sound in A Quiet Place before. Like I remember when I watched it, and I'm definitely getting really ahead of here, but when they bring them back, the first thing you hear is birds. And it's
Yeah.
like, what a great little, like it wasn't like a big bang. It was like, oh, and there's Spider-Man. It was just like birds.
Actually, it comes up in Interstellar too. It's really interesting that you said that, because it when I was watching Interstellar, one of the things that they do in that movie, and they've done it again in Endgame, is one of the characters, I can't remember his name, but Cooper has earphones in, and he passes the earphones over to the other guy, and it's just bird sounds.
Yeah.
And it's okay, maybe that, I don't know, there's something to that.
Yeah.
There's something in that just
Makes you feel human.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Because we've all been lying in bed at 6 a.m, woken up by
Yeah.
some goddamn magpie. Like, shut up! It's Saturday. I've got a toddler. I don't need you.
And then, funnily enough, by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, they're all bloody quiet. They're gone.
They're gone.
They're like, you know what? I've moved to the garbage bin, so don't worry about it. All your stuff you're throwing out, I've taken care of. It's on the ground. Thanks. Like that. I want the perfect mix of sausage mince and an ice cream container. I couldn't wait for it. Thank you. That's my apocalypse. Like,
Oh, God, yeah.
But this is just a cracking movie. It's
so
just an incredible movie, and I still don't know. I think I've spoken about. I can't remember if I've spoken about Avengers before.
Oh, about the other movies, I suppose.
How have I
So
not?
much about
on the podcast, no. In fact, like,
Oh, really?
Avengers hasn't really come up on the show until
Okay.
this series. Because when I was doing my list, I was like, I've definitely talked about Avengers before.
Yeah.
I hadn't. I was like, oh well.
Yeah, great.
We're doing
opportunity.
a double feature because we got to talk about them. It's such a good and it was tough because like a part of me wanted to just be like, well, for the 4 Avengers films and Zack Snyder's Justice League, there's my Apocalypse films, and I was like, no, I can't do that.
Should we talk about the Justice League Apocalypse?
Oh, what's that?
No. So the Justice League Apocalypse scene, is it in Justice League or is it in Batman versus Superman?
Batman's. Oh,
Well, there's
the dust scene.
they both have it. So in Batman vs Superman,
Yeah.
Batman has the vision that Barry
Yeah.
shows him.
Yep.
And then
of
like
Dark Side. The dark side.
Darkseid's in Justice League.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the new version, not the Zack Snyder cut, the original cinematic version where it just had Batman showing up in this wasteland.
Oh, that's in Batman vs Superman.
That one's in Batman's.
Yeah, because he shows up and like there's meant to be kryptonite, but it's actually just a box with a green light, and he has to fight parademons. And stuff. And there's the Omega symbol in the desert. And Superman comes down, rips off his. I've seen that movie a lot.
And Matt and Elizabeth, we're sitting in the cinema, and Liz go, "What did you say? Go say."
I was like, okay, sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, I tap him on. I'm like, what's going on? And you're like,
And I said, normally I'm really good with this stuff. I turn to her and say, now, okay, so this is what's going on, this and blah, blah, blah. And I genuinely said, I have no fucking idea. Fortunately, didn't happen in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
This is just, it's my favorite movie.
It's really good.
It's just my favorite movie. I just love it. Again, Apocalypse. It's the last battle, the Battle of New York. It's in this wasteland of New York. Thanos' army comes down. He just decimates the landscape. So we get scenes of loss and despair, and there's a lot of emotion in this movie actually. And I still don't know how they pulled it all together. I don't know.
It makes no sense, does it? Because Infinity War is, I would say, pretty close to perfect. And like, you don't get as much Captain America in that film, and that was like a bit of a criticism, but they're like, no, it's 2 films, and don't worry, Cap's going to get his time, and boy, does he get his time in Endgame.
Yeah.
But at the end of Infinity War, I was like, I had this real sinking feeling, not just because everyone got snapped away, but after I processed that, I was like, oh, they're not going to stick the landing. How do you stick the landing? How can you stick the landing? It's so ambitious what they've done.
Yeah.
There is no way. I was like, you guys have really stuffed yourselves. Like, I'd hate to be Disney right now because they're not going to. And then Endgame, I like more than Infinity War, which is kind of, against the grain. Most people prefer Infinity War to Endgame, but I'm just like, it works. Like every moment, it is 3 hours long. It never feels slow. Like maybe the only time it feels a bit slow for me is when some of the Gamora Nebula stuff in the flashback. That's but like you need it, and like I'm like, I'll take it. It's fine.
It's important to get.
But like you talk about heartbreaking moments, like when Scott Lang comes back and his daughter is 6 years older. We talk about Murph before in Interstellar. Like I was just like, oh my god, like, and I've watched it since being a dad. I'm like, this is tough. I don't like this feeling. And so when Quantumania came out, I was like, if you just give me like some quality Scott and Cassie time, I don't care if I see Murdoch's bum or anything. Like just give me some Scott and Cassie time.
But Thor is the star of this
for sure.
Thor is the star of both of the movies, I think.
Yeah, well, he has the best entrance in Infinity War where he lands and bring me Thanos, and like the Avengers theme kicks in.
Yeah.
But then
it's his character arc that
to show that level of mental health and depression in a comic book movie where they wear stupid costumes. Because a lot of people, I think that rubs them the wrong way for it's like, oh, like they made Thor a joke. No, like that is a very deliberate choice. And like that is very realistic to say the least.
Yeah.
No, I loved that. And like,
I'd love to, I don't know whether I hope they go back to that badass Thor.
Well, apparently there's a Thor 5. Like they're talking. It's not been announced, but like Taika's like, look, if they'll have me back, I've got another story. I think I can do something kind of a bit more badass with it. So because I don't mind funny Thor in the Avengers films because he is such a fish out of water in that group. But I felt like Ragnarok really lent into the humor too much, it was in very much a slapsticky way. Whereas Love and Thunder, I know people hated that film. I actually thought it was a bit of a course correction.
I don't hate it.
No,
I
liked they moved away from the slapsticky, went more with the rom-com stuff because there's still some really cool moments in it. Like, but like
Avengers Endgame, James. That's my number one.
I mean, that flick makes me cry every single time, and I'm not talking about I Love You 3000. Like that's beautiful, but like the minute those portals open up, and I'm just like, I remember I said to Tina because she was like, "You cried a few times." I'm like, nothing that awesome should exist. Like there is a scene where Spider-Man is holding onto the Infinity Gauntlet, swinging from a Pegasus while Valkyrie has a spear and like chops down a space worm. I'm like, that's one sentence of 2 seconds in a movie.
Yeah.
Like
It's the best scene ever though.
And I don't care that like everyone's like, oh, what pandering, all the girls together. I'm like, did you ever? Most of you don't even have girls. Do you know what I mean? Shut up, nerd. Like, and also like, isn't that? Like, oh, when the circle scene in the Avengers film, the first Avengers film, like that was cool. Like that was okay because all those dudes were there. But like suddenly like the female equivalent, like why is that less awesome? You've got the Wasp, you've got Rescue, you've got Valkyrie, you've got Captain Marvel. Like how is that not cool? Like are we so...
Yeah. Isn't that what we all worked towards?
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Also, I remember after Spider-Man Homecoming came out, I was talking to a guy. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't like that Spider-Man had an instant kill mode. Like, he's not meant to kill people. I'm like, you think he's not going to use that when they fight Thanos? And then, like, when he uses, he's like, here's the kill. It's like, it's like, yes. It's so awesome. And then the thing that really tears my heart up, and I've talked about this a lot in the show when the films come up, is the most heartbreaking, like, beautiful moment in that film is when Happy Hogan sits down next to Morgan and he goes, what do you want? Can I get you anything? I want a cheeseburger. Your dad loved cheeseburgers. I'll get you all the cheeseburgers you want. Because he is the only person in that movie that does not have a power or a suit or a lot of money. Like the guy, he's the driver.
Yeah.
And he's like, my best friend just got killed by an alien. And that's your dad. And you're never going to see him again. I can't do anything. But if you want a cheeseburger, I will make you cheeseburgers until you feel something that is close to happiness. And it's such like a heartbreakingly beautiful moment. Every time I watch it, that's the bit that gets me. And again, it isn't a movie with a giant purple alien who kind of looks like Grimace and they all wear stupid costumes. Like, it should not work. They shouldn't have stuck the landing, but they did.
Here in the end, I was just thinking about it. I love the scene where Thanos gets killed, like sliced. Who is it? Thor? I thought so. Yeah, I went for the head and she's like,
yeah.
And I was so shocked. I was like,
I think everyone was because we're sitting there. I was looking at Tina. I'm like,
Wasn't expecting
what
that.
happens now?
Yeah. What happens now?
It's only been 15 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Like, everything happens
That's
so
finished
fast.
now. Let's wrap it up now.
Like Hawkeye saw his kids get turned to dust, and like
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man's back, so we were all worried about how he's going to get home. That was not a huge issue at all.
Yeah.
And Thanos is dead. Credits?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do?
What do we do now? It's like you with your last 10 minutes of the movie that you're going to watch. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. No, it was brilliant. Good choice, David. Well done.
So good.
We should put the clapping sound on now. Well done. Good choice.
Oh,
to end
before
it
we
on
do,
there.
can we talk about Captain America with Mjolnir? Like
Yeah, I know. Isn't that the best?
that. I mean, like the
Yeah.
the hour that follows that is brilliant, but just that like 5-minute scene of them
Yeah.
teaming up,
Yes.
like.
He is worthy.
It's just like and just like seeing him like throw shit and like send lightning at the same
Yeah.
time. It's just like and like Thor being like, I knew it.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. My favorite part of that movie actually is when Doctor Strange looks at Iron Man
Yeah.
and just gives him that one, like that's the one chance. And I thought, I love that scene. That to me, that's as I said, like that's what we waited all these years for. We've waited for that, and the fact that like all of these characters, well, I shouldn't say all these characters come from Earth, but they're all there for a purpose. I think it was really fantastic. So anyone who criticised that, I was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Like that's the best scene ever, honestly.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And like we haven't even scratched the surface because honestly, Endgame, you could do a whole episode on just that movie. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much to talk about.
Definitely.
And one day we probably will.
Yeah.
But
And I love the direction of how they're going with all of the different storylines and stuff. I think it's fascinating. It's great to watch. Yeah. I'm excited to see how that keeps going.
that
Yeah.
means we're at the top of the rom-com list.
Top of the food
The
chain.
end game of rom-coms, if you will.
Yeah.
Your big multiverse crossover with different timelines. The Lake House. No, just kidding.
The lake house.
'Cause it was time travel.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yes. Well, this one, interestingly, yeah, I suppose you could kind of, in a way, say that this movie is about memories and timetable, not so much, but how over time memories can diminish, and that
I
is
know where you're going. I know what it is.
Yeah, 50 First Dates.
It's not what I thought it was. I was wrong. I was like,
okay.
Notebook. Like,
Oh, the Notebook, yeah. I don't know if I actually spoke about the Notebook, but I actually love that movie too. So
51st
Shout out
Dates
to that.
is a wonderful movie.
yes. So
The second Adam Sandler Drew Barrymore collab,
yes, there was The Wedding Singer as well, which
and then
I
this,
absolutely
and then
loved.
Blended, which I never saw, but
Yeah, I actually never saw Blended either. No. So they've done a couple of movies together. So they obviously there's a really good chemistry between them. And like so The Wedding Singer was another one that I would have mentioned too because it's just
I think
hilarious.
you talked about it on one of your episodes.
I think I did, yeah. So I just adore this movie, and every time I see it, I just get a really nice, warm, tingly. It just makes me feel. It just hits me to my core, to my heart, and I just think it. I get the I get the tissues out again. Sorry, guys, I get the tissues out again. I just love the chemistry between Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. As you see, we said it in their other movies. So. The movie is about Adam, who's a self-proclaimed bachelor and a vet, and he falls in love with Drew Barrymore's character, Lucy, who is an art teacher but has a terrible accident and actually loses her memory or gets like
she can't make new
Goldfield syndrome.
memories.
She can't make new memories. So what
Yeah.
happens is she remembers everything before the accident, doesn't remember the accident happening, and every day since that accident, it's like her memory gets wiped out when she goes to sleep. But then when she wakes up, she remembers everything that happened before the accident, but she can't make any new memories.
it's almost like a reverse Groundhog Day. Like instead of living the same day over and over again,
Yeah.
and not being able to escape, she's living new days, but she can't remember.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Well put,
yeah.
James. That was a really good.
Dodgy science, by the way. But anyway,
Dave's like, that's such dodgy science. And so she's got like her dad and her brother who look after her, and she does like they do little things like they make sure that the newspaper is the same day as every day since the accident. The day of the accident, I think, is the date on the newspaper. They make sure that there's like it was her dad's birthday when the accident occurred, so she remembers that. So every day they'd sing happy birthday to him and always bring out a frozen pineapple. And so like you'll see cuts out to these scenes where they've got like a whole freezer full of pineapples and a whole stack of newspapers and that. And most days they get through and basically not deceive her, but they basically make her believe that she's still okay, because by the time she gets to sleep, her brain completely wipes out everything that happened during that day. So in comes Henry, who meets Lucy, or who sees Lucy and falls in love with her instantly when he sees her inside. It goes to a cafe that he's never been to before, and he sees that she's making, it sounds really weird, but like she's using waffles to make like different types of houses. And because she's an art teacher, she creates like different pieces of art. So Adam or Henry tries to say hello to her, and then realizes anyway, the story goes on, realizes that she doesn't remember who he is. So he plots all these like different ways to try and get to know her and meet her and create those memories. But he doesn't realize that every time she goes to bed, she completely forgets who he is.
And
Yes.
and I don't want to jump ahead and
go.
spoil the ending, but the kind of film it is, you're like, well, clearly he's going to figure it out,
Yes. And
but he doesn't.
no, he doesn't. And
No,
like,
it's incurable. Like
it's
there's a very
incurable.
heartbreaking scene.
Exactly.
Like no, like you will not be able to fix
yeah.
this.
And then eventually, basically his idea is, I'm going to make her fall in love with me every day, which is a really sweet analogy. Like it's kind of cute and makes you sort of think, well, we should be really holding on to our family members and our lovers tightly, because we don't know what future has in store for us and everything. But I think it's a really this movie is not just heartfelt, but it's really funny. It's got some really funny moments. Like I love the scene where he tries to get her attention by breaking down on the side of the road. And then he gets the jumpstart cables, and he pretends like he's been electrocuted, and he's like, ah, and she's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, she's like, she starts bursting into tears. She goes, my grandfather passed away from being electrocuted by jumpstarting somebody's car. And he's like, oh no, I feel like so crap. And she's like, gotcha. Another time, he's got his best mate who he's pretend on the side of the road again, and he's pretending like his best mate's beating him on the side. So she stops over and she grabs a baseball bat and she starts whacking the crap out of him. And she's like,
Isn't there a scene as well? Oh, sorry. I'll let you finish the quote.
yeah. And she's like, and he's like, she's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'll be right back. And she chases after him and then belts the crap out of him. And she's like, I'm not finished. And then he starts running off into the hills, and she goes, yeah, you keep on running. And she's like, how are you? And it's just really, really funny. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Isn't there a scene as well where Rob Schneider has to pose as a sexy girl?
Yeah,
and he's got a mop on his head or something.
Yeah. So he does so Henry takes all these videos and tapes them and then shows them VHS. So it just goes to show a bit of the age there. But
that's how I watched this movie on VHS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I actually had it on DVD, I think, for a little while. Anyway, so he takes all these videos, and one of them is Rob Schneider's character, who's just hilarious in this film. And he's got these cocoa nut things on his boobs, and he's licking the nipples. You stop licking the nipples. Sorry, my friend here is a little bit deranged and everything. But
classic 2000s Rob Schneider.
Absolutely. I mean, I love it. Was it Male Gigolo? What's that?
Juice Bigelow.
Juice Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Yeah, I love a couple of his movies. They're really funny. One of my favorite parts of the movie actually is when they break up. Eventually they break up, and she just has this journal that she writes in all of her memories so that she can refer back to it when she wakes up in the morning. But she decided she wanted to remove all of that because she didn't want to keep Henry from living his life. He was going to go sailing and do all these things and have a family and that. And she's like, I can't provide that for you because of my condition. Anyway, so they break up, and he's devastated, and he goes to leave for his trip, but then he realizes, no, this is not what I want. Comes back. He finds Drew Barrymore she's teaching art to people who have these kinds of conditions. And there's this guy that's 10-second Larry or something like that.
10-second Tom.
10-second Tom, that's the one. And so there's a scene in that where she says Adam comes running into the art class, and he's like, oh, I just keep thinking about you, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, I recognize your face. And she takes him into the studio, and there's pictures of him everywhere, that she's painted over, she'll wake up in the morning and she'll start painting. She didn't realize that she's painting his face. and one of them is like an egg shape, which is really cool. And so it's like an egg head, and there's lots of references to his egg head. Anyway, so love that movie. I thought it was my favourite because every time I watch it, I think it's aged quite well. It's very relatable. It's your typical rom-com, but it's also kind of it's typical in that, it's a romantic comedy, but it's done really, really well. It's funny. Yeah, anybody could watch it.
And that ending is like
It's
it will
great.
make you cry.
Yeah, it will make you cry. So, so that was my top one. It was hard to decide, but that was my heartfelt one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are 2 lists done.
Yes.
Done and
They
done.
are.
Which means I have to put the screws to, of course. We have to do the rapid fire round. It's always a
This
rapid
bit
fire.
makes me sweat.
Yeah.
It genuinely makes me sweat.
Yeah. Well, now you guys know what it feels like when I breathe. So I'll be honest. Last night I was like, oh, I haven't done a rom-com list. So pretty much I've just taken the same questions and changed the word apocalypse to rom-com.
Okay, all right.
So I'm dedicated to my art. David, which apocalypse would you most prefer to be stuck in if you had to?
Which apocalypse would I most prefer?
And
to
doesn't
be
be from your
stuck in?
list.
Okay.
It could be from
Okay.
it could be another apocalypse.
All right. I wouldn't mind. Have you seen the movie? Now it's a Tom Hanks movie.
Is it the Apple one? The one from Apple
Yeah.
I haven't
It's
seen it,
called,
but Maddie watched it.
Oh god.
I can actually tell you what it is because it'll be on a list, and I wrote
Finch.
down
It's called
Yes.
Finch.
Yes, Finch. That's the
I
one.
wouldn't mind that.
Okay.
Having a little robot companion.
Robot pal.
Yeah, that looks after your dog. I don't know. I like that. That movie is actually not a bad movie. It didn't. It was okay. But yeah,
It
basically.
was on her top 5. So
Oh, was it?
yeah, that's how I
okay.
knew about it. I was like, oh, I know this one.
Yeah. So he makes a robot to care for his dog.
After he dies.
Yeah, after he does, and yeah, so I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah,
That would
little
be
robot
right.
pal.
Yeah, little robot pal. Yeah, Finch. There you go. That's the one that I probably wouldn't mind.
All right, Liz. So with the very creatively altered question, which rom-com would you like most to be stuck in?
I would actually really like to be stuck in The Notebook. I know we mentioned that before, but I really like the era.
Most sad, like
I
heartbreaking.
know.
I just wanna cry every
I think
day.
the 1950s. I don't know. Like I think that was just a time where things were so much more simpler, but also like
The gauze.
yeah,
The gauze.
like it's just. I mean, he was just beautiful, and well, hang on, James Marsden as well. We should probably make mention of 2 very attractive men there. But I also think I liked that era as well. It was just life was so much more simple. You went to the movies and didn't sort of have
Oh,
like
sorry.
swipe
I'm
left
awake
or
now.
right.
Yes,
And
let's go. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah,
I should have listened up for that one.
Yeah. So, I think that's my go-to there. Yeah.
Alrighty. David, which hero, and I use the word hero lightly, but which hero would you like to most be teamed up with in an apocalypse?
Oh,
Who's keeping you safe?
who's
part of
keeping
your-
me safe in
who's
an
part of your
apocalypse?
tribe?
I'm going to go with now. So do I need to pick somebody from an apocalypse movie? I might.
It's the last one. So
Okay.
Do what you want.
Do me.
We're closing the book on the apocalypse.
Okay. So what hero do I want to be most with?
Who's keeping you safe?
Who's keeping me safe? Right.
And as we learned from that Batman vs Superman
Yeah,
scene,
it's not Batman. I'm trying to think. Did anyone mention Waterworld, by the way?
Yeah, Josh did.
Josh mentioned
he loves
Waterworld.
Waterworld.
I am going to go.
Oh no, he didn't.
Oh.
I think Waterworld was in his '90s film, but he has talked about
Okay.
Waterworld before.
Okay. Yeah. The hero that's keeping me safe is going to be. I mentioned Thor before. Yeah.
Lost a lot of people, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like no one he loves is left, really.
Yeah. He has lost a lot of people. He's not knocking me off. He's keeping me safe.
All right.
Yeah, no, he's not letting anyone else go.
I mean, the good thing is if he doesn't,
Yeah.
you won't know.
Yeah, he won't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no,
I mean,
no.
he is a god as well. So
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's learned his lesson. He's not letting anyone else go.
Sure. Yeah, no worries at all. To be fair, Korg, he's ahead. Like he's still around. All right, so I don't know what I meant by this. It was like after midnight when I wrote this. Which hero would you like to be teamed up in a romance? I guess I mean which hero do you want to date? Like
Yeah. Let me have a think. Who am I thinking of? Well, look, I mean, I'd love a James Marsden, and I think I know I
Cyclops.
mentioned that. Yeah,
He's gonna wear those cool glasses.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm thinking of The Notebook as well, so I'm going off that one then because James Marsden, poor thing, he was left alone after his fiance dropped him for.
Oh, Cyclops was killed by his fiance.
Yeah,
so,
true.
like-
Yeah. And I mean, he was fabulous in that too. I think so. Like he's got. He's just stunning. Like he's stunning to look at, and the sound, and like he treated I forgot what their names were, but he treated his fiance so beautifully, and he was like, "Yeah, it's hard to let go of your first love, isn't it?" And it's like, are you just gonna let her go like that? You're just really easygoing. I love you, so yeah, I'd team up with you in a heartbeat. Sorry, David.
All right, he's with Thor. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean Thor's pretty amazing too. So
Too late.
I'm a bit jealous to be honest.
Alrighty, David. Post-apocalyptic vehicle of choice. How you getting around the apocalypse?
Oh, the post-apocalyptic vehicle. How am I getting around? I'm gonna get that. There's some awesome vehicles in Mad Max actually. There's some, but no, I'm not going with that. I'm getting around in. Okay, have you seen Oblivion with Tom Cruise?
I haven't. Nick talked about it on his.
Okay,
list, though.
yeah. So that's actually another. That was another one on my list. They have some awesome tech in that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm getting around in some of the tech in Oblivion. Some of the vehicles, some of the shuttles, I'm getting around in that.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's the one I'm going for.
All right. I'm not asking you for your romantic comedy vehicle.
Oh my God,
I had to work a bit hard on this one.
Yeah.
It's your meet cute. It's your first date. Whatever you like in your rom-com. Where you going? What's your venue?
Oh, this is a good one. I would love a romantic picnic on a beach. And crashing waves, and a really nice cheese platter with some wine, and that like the particular, how like in those romantic movies, you're sitting there with your beau and you're having like a sip of wine and some chocolate and some cheese, and you're like, let's catch the waves, and then you run into the waves and they crash over you, and you're like, oh, quick, grab me, and then the water just flows all over you, and like this. You know what I'm talking about. I hope I'm making some sense.
Oh, I know you are.
It's getting late tonight. Yeah,
It is late.
Rain is melting a little bit, but that would be my ideal date. A beautiful sunset, on the beach with some nibbles and crashing waves. And I'm just thinking about, when those scenes where you've got the crashing waves and like the water flows all over you and stuff. Yeah.
I'm worried about Cyclops because that outfit is leather and you're taking to the beach. But anyway.
It's going to be very heavy and soggy.
I have sand in my underpants. Me too. Let's go.
Sand in all sorts of places. Yeah.
Alrighty, last one. And the question does apply to both you. David.
Yep.
Who's playing the soundtrack to your apocalypse? What are you rocking out to? It's the end of the world. Is it heavy? Is it rock and roll, or is it more atmospheric and chill?
Yeah, so we mentioned this. I mentioned this earlier. Just teased it earlier. The soundtrack to 50 First Dates is.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember it.
Yeah, no, you got to check out the soundtrack to 50 First Dates.
Like if you were like, tell me a banging soundtrack.
Yeah,
I would
no,
not
it's got some Hawaiian.
Oh well, I mean, it's got yes, is
Yeah.
this version of
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what makes me cry every time.
Yeah, that one. I'm trying to think of. I can't think of the exact tracks. I'm trying.
Anything from Guardians of the Galaxy
Oh yes.
is bomb,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say they're apocalyptic, but often when they've had those fight scenes, they've had the most amazing music on from the 70s and 80s. So
Yeah, it's the desert island soundtracks. So like it's the
Yeah.
ones that you make you want to feel like you're in tropical paradise
Yeah.
and
or you could say Highway to Hell. I'm on the highway to hell.
yeah. No,
that's
check
pretty
out the
cool.
50 First Dates soundtrack.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. I saw some Jason Mraz. I saw some pretty chill people. So
Yeah. And I think like I agree with you, like the 50 First Dates, but I also like anything from like, I don't know if you guys have actually watched Bridgerton. So Bridgerton have got like these amazing
The
sound.
Viscounts? You're talking
Yeah,
about,
yes.
That's the only thing I know from it.
Yeah. So, but they, if you ever get to watch it, their soundtracks are really good because what they have is a lot of like current music that's been put into like using like orchestral instruments.
Cool.
So you might be like Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, and they'll put that as like a violin and like,
like
really
that.
like string, you know.
They did that in Westworld. Did you see Westworld?
Yeah, I saw the first season. I
Yeah, they used to do a
lot.
lot of piano tracks to like Radiohead. And
I think the big one was Paint It Black. Wasn't
that's
that
it.
the
Yeah,
big- that was
yeah.
the
So they
really
used to do a
cool
lot of So that worked well in Westworld. Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Christina watched Bridgerton, and like I remember when it came out, like it's the raunchiest show on Netflix.
Oh, it was.
Is it?
Oof.
Because every time I walked in, everyone was wearing like 40 layers of clothes. I was like, I hope they don't whip out an ankle soon. I might not be able to contain myself.
Yeah, the first season was really insane. Like it was like I reckon that should have been rated R. Like honestly, it was
may have
really full on. But then it's tapered down a lot, and it's still okay. But you know, yeah, I watched the second season and it was fine. But unfortunately, the guy who was doing the Viscount, he left because there was a dispute with money and stuff like that. So I think, and that was a real shame because I think he really brought a lot of raunchiness and sexiness to the show. That now that he's gone, it's sort of missing that a little bit there. Yeah. But that would be my idea of a soundtrack that would suit a rom.
Orchestral.
Yeah, if you wanted,
songs.
modern pop songs seems to be like a bit of a Vogue thing at the moment because I think there was another movie that we watched recently that had that same kind of thing. Actually, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that was just all classic like 80s and 90s hip hop.
Yeah,
But even like back, I mean, I was gonna say back as far as like when I say the movie, like it's not that old. Like Moulin Rouge was just like
Yes.
reinterpreted versions of popular songs.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Which I love that. Yeah, so I think anything that does it like
Yeah.
that sort of recreates a little bit, modernizes, or maybe what I don't know if demodernize is a word either, but like it just changes it, and you sort of go, and you don't notice it, and then you listen to it, you go, oh, I know actually those lyrics. How do I know those lyrics? Smart. So it's my choice there.
that is it. That is the rapid fire done. The sweating can stop.
Okay, cool. I can take.
It smells like one of the scenes from 10 Things I Hate About You, just like we're pouring with sweat. Do we have anything to add? Do we need to say anything more before we cap off our chat about the apocalypse and now rom-coms?
No, watch apocalypse movies.
Yeah, watch.
Yeah, well, you got me interested in a couple of them now. So
Just watch Endgame. If you take anything away from this podcast, watch Endgame.
Just watch it.
Best one ever, honestly. Even coming from the rom-com queen over here, yeah, definitely.
And if you want to help Liz and David decipher that 10-minute scene from Batman vs Superman,
please tell us.
Please explain.
We have no idea what was going on with that, and I still laugh about it to this day.
Oh my goodness. Well, there's a lot of things to wrap up with, so I'll try and make it as quick as possible. But first of all, I want to thank David and Liz for coming back on the show and hosting me. Whenever they come on the show, I get to take a little drive out and get in the professional studio, which is nice.
Yeah, we got the kit.
It's I'm
Set up.
getting used to it. I'm digging it. But lovely to have them both on the show again. And you guys will be back soon. I can officially announce the next topic. You know, we've wrapped up Apocalypse. The next series, we're going to be going to the era of spiked hair and flared denim jeans and
Frosted makeup.
frosted makeup and frosted tips. We're heading to the 2000s, guys.
Hey.
You remember those, and if you don't,
Y2K.
I promise you it's not that ancient. We'll be heading there. Not straight away. We've got a couple of like specialist episodes coming up first. We've got next week we're celebrating video games, which will be very cool. Video games and movies. I have someone coming over to talk about Quentin Tarantino. I mentioned there's a Christopher Nolan film episode coming up as well. We got a mental health special coming, which is kind of cool.
Excellent.
And of course, Halloween is around the corner as well. But once all of that's out of the way, once we get through all of those, we'll be heading into the 2000s, and then it'll be Christmas. So
I can't believe it. I think there's only like 11 weeks till Christmas, 11 Mondays till Christmas, James. I'm freaking out.
I've got to get my boots and my suit because I'm.
And your jolly suit.
All right. Guys, if I could get one more fat joke about myself in this episode today, I will. I will keep ringing that I don't know what I'm
Jingle
saying.
bell?
That jingle bell. That jingle. I was going to say ringing that sponge dry right into my mouth because like clearly I can't stop
I
eating.
see what you're saying. Yep.
I prefer the jingle bell because it was nice
Yep.
as opposed to what I was saying to myself. What else do I need to tell you guys? Look, that's it. If you want to support the show, jump online, head to Instagram. I was a teenage film snob. Underscores between every single word. Give us a like, a follow, a comment. Tell me you love the show. Tell me you hate the show. I don't really care. Just interact, get involved. Give us a review. We've never been reviewed before. Jump onto Spotify or Apple Podcasts and write something nice or not so nice. Or tell us your favorite films. That'd be cool. I'd love to hear about your top 5 favorite movies. Send them my way. If you want to support the show financially, this is the part where I beg for money. I make no money off them, but we do have shirts. Head to tpublic.com, type in I was a teenage film snob, or jump on Instagram, click on my link tree and go to the link there. 20% off. It's pretty good. And I don't get any of the money really, like $3-4. I'm not looking to retire on these, but the shirts are cool. They're comfortable and you can support the show that way and show off that great Josh Sacco art. I think that's all the plugs done. So once again, thank you to David and Liz. Lovely having them on. They'll be back to celebrate the 2000s and probably other things as well because they're always keen to get involved. But until then, as I say every single week, guys, I was a teenage film snob. I was. There's no denying it. But I'm trying to get better. I'll see you next week.